Hey everyone, good morning. Another day, coffee, the news and us, another morning hangout. Welcome to the King Angel Show. I'm King Angel, a San Francisco Bay Area live streamer and content creator here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And in the show, we specialize in going down rabbit holes, different topics, anything I find interesting. Like the title says, we read the news. We hang out, we investigate, research, read. I guess we have to limit now the videos that we watch because YouTube took down my stream on Friday of last week, so I'm still a little butthurt because of that. I'm going no green screen today. I'll probably be doing this just to finish the week until I'm able to figure out why I keep getting the camera error and it just keeps going in and out, and it's a complete mess. And as much as I love the green screen, especially when we're watching like websites and whatnot, it looks a lot better, but all in all it's not making any sense to do it because it's just not looking great. Sometimes the camera doesn't sync very well with the audio, so there's like a huge delay in the video, and you'll hear me talk, but the camera just doesn't move. And I'm really tired of it, and I'm about 2 seconds away from just canceling this whole app and whatnot. But whatever, here we are. But another day, another reason to be live. Happy to be here. Happy you're here. Appreciate that. I don't have any. I don't have any of those things, sir. I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's just no. Nonetheless, another episode. We're gonna go through some news. I think that we can do. We'll start with all that's interesting, and then we'll move on to another one. We'll probably do like technology and whatnot. There's this really interesting article about the creator of AI that he quit Google yesterday, and I want to read more into that because that seems pretty interesting. We can also do some space news today as well. Yeah. We'll just browse through these websites, see what we encounter. I went through it a little bit, and there's some articles that are pretty interesting and definitely worth a read. So we're gonna jump into that. Let's see. Need I remind you? You already know. Bam. You can find me all across social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my videos, comment on them, let me know what you think. Share it out to your loved ones, and like I said, subscribe to my channel. If you want to further support me, you can join my Patreon community. Well, actually, there's two ways you can support me. You can join my Patreon community. That's $2 a month. a whole bunch of benefits there. Full unedited episodes. There's a review and reaction videos that are exclusive to Patreon members only. Discord channels that link to Patreon, so members have private channels where we can watch movies, album listens, concerts, a little bit of everything. We also have live Q&As, live AMAs. I haven't done it yet, but once the community starts growing a lot more, I do want to obviously do that. There's private streams as well that we can do on Discord that's exclusively for Patreon members. A whole bunch of benefits, and I'm adding a whole bunch more. So definitely join that community. Like I said, $2 a month. You can find those links in the description box of the live stream or in the About section if you're watching me on Twitch. Shout out Twitch family. You can also, if you're on Twitch, I mean, you're already there, so you might as well do it. You can use your Amazon Prime to subscribe to my channel on Twitch. I will be going live. I've been obviously going live on Twitch a lot more. I redid the whole channel point section, so check that out. I have a community challenge as well that's going on. Pretty interesting. It's my first one. It's picking a topic, but it's the community, the King Angel Show community picking what that next random topic is going to be. That we won't even have to take it out of the box. We'll just do that topic. Obviously, if everyone agrees, we can do it in kind of like a voting kind of thing and whatnot. Pretty interesting. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Alright, so, already went through everything. Let's see, I'm checking real quick. What to start with? I think, we'll do all of that's interesting first. I think that's a best route to take, so move over to the other screen. See, and it works a lot better too. There's something going on with the actual app and OBS, which is the software that I use to live stream with. There's something is going on with the connection, because if I don't stream, if I'm recording, it goes pretty well and the green screen works like right on point and everything. But it's as soon as I stream, especially if I'm opening up like a website or something, which it shouldn't be hiccuping because I worked a lot to be able to purchase this specific computer, and shouldn't be hiccuping like that, but here we are. Alrighty. We'll start with this one because I have quips with things that happen. Like, okay, so we're reading off of allthat'sinteresting.com. This one's a South Korean student eats $120,000 banana artwork because he was hungry. This was written by Amber Brees, edited by John Kurowski, and it was published yesterday, May 1st, 2023. Okay. I just feel like it's twofold. One, I mean, $120,000. Listen, more power to the person that did this. And if this is some sort of I don't know, like a piece of art that you're supposed to like think about and make your own conclusion. It's a banana taped to the wall. Again, I guess there's something I'm not seeing specifically, and I don't understand why this is $120,000. You feel me? Like, unless that banana has some gold in it, it's diamond encrusted inside. Again, maybe a little bit too much money. At the same time, I'm also not on par with destroying or ruining like art pieces and whatnot, like art history and shit. Like I have seen it happen a lot, specifically with activists, which I understand the activist part. There's a lot that needs to be discussed and changed, especially in regards to like climate change and global warming and whatnot. But from that point, taking it to destroying or ruining or trying to, to be quite specific, like art pieces that are historical, like it didn't do anything to you. Like, you feel me? That's there. You should just, leave it. It's been there for many generations that include the person that's throwing, like, it's, for example, like they threw like Campbell soup, what was it, at a painting that was in the Louvre, whatever, or Louvre. I mean, luckily the painting had, I think it was a Mona Lisa or something. It had like that glass in front of it that obviously protects it and whatnot. But if it would not have had that glass, that would have been a ruined piece of history right there. I understand there's a point being made, but from there to ruining something that doesn't really have anything to do with what you're trying to express, it's a problem. You're not getting your point across. You're just you're diluting the message and just making it harder for people to understand the actual cause. It's like, what does the Mona Lisa have anything to do with it? I don't know. So it says, no Hyun-soo removed Mauricio Catalan's piece from the wall at the Liam Museum of Art in Seoul and then ate it, later saying he did so simply because he skipped breakfast. I mean, kind of seems like he did it because he was being petty about it, because he probably thought the same thing too. Like, this is a banana taped to the wall. So, a hungry museum visitor in South Korea recently chowed down on Mauricio Catalan's banana art piece titled Comedian, which has an estimated worth of $120,000. I mean, they don't have anything else specific there as to what currency it is, so we'll assume it's dollars. No Hyun-soo, a South Korean art student, visited the Liam Museum of Art in Seoul and reportedly ate the art piece simply because he skipped breakfast and was hungry. He then taped the banana peel back onto the museum wall. A video of the event showing No eating the art piece quickly circulated on social media. Alright, let's see. No lie, did eat it. Yup. Yeah, it was petty. He did that on purpose. He could have played ignorant if he wouldn't A, have taped it back to the wall, and B, wouldn't have recorded it. Because that's the thing right there. It's you can't really play ignorant if you're recording it. Like, that kind of defeats the purpose unless someone else is like, unless you're like coincidentally recording in that same place at the same time. If you intentionally record it, it's not really a genuine thing. You're just being an asshole. Like, you're being petty about it. Like, it's like people that record themselves giving food to the homeless. It's like, I mean, would you do it without you being recorded? Like, wouldn't that make more sense? But if it's recorded, it's because there's an ulterior motive to it, you know. In this case, maybe he used that same video because he wanted some clout and he wanted to post it. It doesn't seem like something that would be impossible to think about. Like, people do that shit all the time. The museum did not take punitive measures against Snow, but instead replaced the banana peel with a fresh banana. Typically, the museum replaces the banana every 2 to 3 days anyway. So what is it? So what is the value of $120,000? I mean, is it $120,000 worth of bananas? It confuses me. You feel me? So if I were to just take a tape and put a banana on the wall, like, I can charge someone $120,000 for that. And there'd be people at this same art installation that would be changing the banana for me because it rots on the wall every 2 to 3 days. Come on now. Are we serious? It happened suddenly, so no special action. No, I'm sorry. The museum stated that it does not have plans to claim damages or press charges against the student. It happened suddenly, so no special action was taken. The artist was informed of the incident, but he didn't have any reaction to it, a museum spokesperson told CNN. This isn't the first time a hungry onlooker has eaten quote-unquote comedian. In 2019, performance artist David the Tuna snatched the banana from the wall at the Perrotin Gallery at Art Basel in Miami and ate the fruit in front of shocked onlookers. I don't understand. What's the shock for? Like, if you see a banana taped to the wall and say it's $120,000, that art's, come on. Wouldn't you be tempted into eating the banana yourself? I know I would. Just to be petty like that other dude was. Probably would have recorded though, but for the artist, Mauricio Catalan, the frequent consumption of his work is quote-unquote no problem. Catalan acknowledges that his work is largely satirical and pokes fun at the absurdities of popular culture. Even for those who have ingested his art, like David the Tuna, Catalan's art is a product of quote-unquote genius, The Guardian reports. Catalan's previous works include America, an 18-karat gold toilet valued at more than $6 million, and Il Dito, a middle finger sculpture that sat opposite Milan's stock exchange. In the case of Comedian, the Perrotin Gallery told CNN that the banana is a symbol of global trade, a double entendre, as well as a classic device for humor. Catalan uses everyday objects in his art as vehicles of both delight and critique. No seemed to find his own meaning in the art piece, telling the Korea Herald that damaging a work of modern art could also be interpreted as artwork. I thought it would be interesting. Isn't it taped there to be eaten? Noah questioned the Korea Herald. Left the banana peel. Observers of the event note that Catalan's work, though comedic and often a critique of politics and society, still rakes in millions for the artist. I mean, at $120,000 for a banana on a wall, homie, you must be raking in that cash. It's probably swimming in that money. The first copy of Comedian at Miami Art Basel sold for $120,000. And the second sold at the same price. The museum put another copy up for sale at $150,000. There's people that probably won't ever see $120,000 in their lifetime, unless they win like the lottery or something. And someone bought a banana taped to the wall for 120. Two So 2 separate occasions, $120,000. Yet the art, like the whole purpose of the artwork is a play on politics and the global exchange. But he made $120,000 off of that. Sorry. Chat, can you make it make sense? Like, no, really. Just, is there any logical explanation to that? Because I certainly can't find it. This is insane. I mean, it's insane. Come on now. This is crazy. I have traveled in 67 countries around the world in the last 3 years, and I see how people live. David Datuna said to The Guardian, millions are dying without food. And he puts 3 bananas on the wall for $500,000. Okay, but here's the question I'll pose. And let me know, chat, what you think. Is it his fault for taping the bananas to the wall and charging people $120,000 for each? Or is it the person with the money's fault for purchasing and enabling said behavior and going along with a banana taped to the wall being valued at $120,000? I mean, whose fault is it really? My personal opinion, it's the person paying the money. It's not him. He came up with the idea. He's like, you know what? I'm going to profit off of this shit. Why not? And that's exactly what he did. It's just that I keep repeating it because I want us to be on the same page. It's a banana taped to the wall. Back home in Dominican Republic, dude, there's plantains that grow on trees. You can literally take a plantain and you could do the Dominican version and tape it to a wall, and you could charge people $120,000 for it. Not $1,000, not $500, which I think would have made a little bit more sense, especially with the message that it's trying to give. But wow, dude, that's crazy. I mean, this person proves a point. It's like millions are dying without food. Then he puts 3 bananas on the wall for $500,000. Mind you, it's not this person's responsibility to end world hunger, but I mean, the reality is that is true. Like, there are millions of people that go to sleep every night without food, or don't have anything to eat at all. Like I mentioned before, there are plenty of people that work their lifetimes thick and thin, through and through, and will never see $120,000, let alone in this economy. I mean, if you live in the States, of course. I don't know if there are plenty of other countries that are doing pretty well right now. If you're in the States, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Shout out to you millennials out there. We're so fucked. Oh, jeez. And I don't mean me, I mean like collectively, as a society, as, you know, yeah, we're pretty fucked. So following comedian's debut at Miami Art Basel, many expressed disappointment that the piece was sold for thousands of dollars and was even considered art. Several individuals, corporations, and organizations openly mocked the piece online. Look, he taped a moon pie to the wall. I'm an artist now. So with these critiques in mind, perhaps it makes sense why several people would want to take a bite out of the piece, which ArtNet says draws a line between the art world and total anarchy. Let's check out worst art pieces that sold for millions. Okay, so 10, like I said, 10 worst modern arts ever that sold for millions. We're reading off of stillunfold.com. This was written by Kimberly Campbell, and it was written 5 years ago. Didn't have a specific date. It says, modern art is known for having many hidden masks inside it, which is hard to reveal, but has a great significant meaning to understand. These artifacts enhance the beauty of the place many folds. It's okay. So modern art is a style of portraying ideas, beliefs, innovation, and creation in the different forms of paintings, which are different from the traditional art paintings. It is a form to reveal out emotions in the best way possible. The trend of modern art started in late 19th century with the new invention in the artistic field. The motive of the modern art was to underlie ideas into reality. The attraction of modern art among the people is increasing. It has evolved to great heights. Art lovers find it amazing to purchase unexceptional arts which have significant, deep meaning within. Normal people cannot identify the reason identify the reason behind the painting or what is basically trying to symbolize. The trend has changed with the modern world. Earlier paintings used to showcase a religious story or things which were present in the world, but modern art is something which is beyond the imagination. To sell out anything which does not have any significance cannot be stated as modern art, but there are some worst paintings which are sold out in millions of dollars despite it had nothing meaningful in it. Here are some of the worst modern arts. So, One Mint by Barnett Newman. This piece of art has nothing special in it. It is just blue covered picture, but for the art lovers it resembles emotions, loneliness, and sadness, which is depicted by the artist Barnett Newman. The masterpiece was sold at... You ready? Because it's not... I don't think you could read it there unless you're like zooming in or whatever. $43.8 million. $43.8 million for the color blue. Listen, people, they just don't have anything to do with their money at this point. I mean, it's just, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, for you to get $43.8 million because you were manipulated into thinking that this had a deeper meaning than what it really had, that you can see past the fact that it's a color, you can give it any significance that you want, but it's a color. There's like literally nothing to it but the color displayed there. This piece of art has a blue color canvas with a white stripe present in the middle. That's it. $43.8 million. Number 2, windows. This piece of modern art is the worst one as it basically does not have anything except the colorful rectangles and squares. According to the person who spent life in exploring technology, then they will say that this art is made in MS Paint. It is not an art which will give appealing and overwhelming effect. Here's the thing. You can give it any meaning to it that you want, but $43.8 million for the one that we saw previous, dude, you have to touch my soul. You feel me? You have to move me in ways that I'll never be moved ever in life. And can you really be honest with yourself? Is this really something that you think would move you? Number 3, Concerto Spaziale. So what is it? Spatial conception? Or I don't know. I don't speak Italian, but I think that's what it says. This piece of art gained the attention basically to give a 3-dimensional view to the paintings. Therefore, he punctured the canvas 2-dimensional membrane to show the space behind the picture. He explained his thoughts and gestures in the best possible way, but it is still extravagant to create history. Well, I mean, in comparison to the other ones, I can understand this. Like, this could be a horror movie. This could be used as the artwork for like the next Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I don't know. You can give it any meaning you want. Dude, you can say that this was Robert Englund that made it for you. You could lie your heart out, but it at least has something to it, as opposed to the color blue that we saw before. So, this famous painting was sold for $2 million. The painting was made by Joan Miró. He's known for discipline and excellence, but this kind of work is not showcased in his paintings. Some of the art of Joan Miró is exceptional, but this one is worst amongst his all. Well, to each their own. This could be a perfect example of a piece of artwork. It's called a painter, Le Chien, that it's sold because it's attached to a very famous artist. So Joan Miró, you know, he's made many famous paintings. Maybe this was just something that he did. It was just a little doodle or something. But because it was that famous artist that created it, yeah, I could completely understand why it would sell for $2 million. Hey man, at least it has something to it. You feel me? At least there's something of a figure and an understanding. You can kind of give it meaning, but number 5, Untitled, 1970 by Cy Twombly. So he's an American artist known for its expression portrayed in the paintings. This painting is a colorless scrawl which reminds us of chalk on the blackboard, which does not symbolize any character or letters. So, did it sell? How much did it sell for? Okay, so his work has been offered. No, wait, that has to be a mistake. There has to be a maybe there's like a wait. Numerous key galleries and museums such as Getty Center have featured Cy Twombly's work in the past. Cy Twombly's work has been offered at auction multiple times, with realized prices ranging from $5 to $70,530,000 USD. US dollars, USD. Depending on the size and medium of the artwork. Holy shit. Oh, look. Okay, so the most expensive painting appraised. The Guinness Book of World Records lists Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa as having the highest ever insurance value for a painting. The Mona Lisa was assessed at $100 million. And this was on December 14th, 1962. So you can only imagine how much it's worth now. What is this? Ooh, American abstract painter Cy Twombly's 1970 painting, Untitled Rome, could fetch between $35 million and $45 million at Sotheby's evening sale of contemporary art on May 12th in New York. This is from 2021. Bro, man, these people are out of their minds, dude. $35 million. That's crazy money for a painting of a scribble. That it's just like, bro, come on now. Okay, Blue Fool by Christopher Wool, and it's literally the word fool. So this piece of art in the commentary in the market This piece of art is a commentary of the market of modern art. The artist, Christopher Wool Ciaran, is that the name? No. Has a lot of grammatical mistakes. Well, I mean, I can understand why someone would purchase this. So, number 7, Les Journées Leroux by Mark Rothko. Hey, I mean, this is a lot better than the other ones that we've seen up until this point. Abstract art by Jackson Pollock. The famous American artist is known for expressing things best in abstract art. He sold his painting in... Wow. Okay. This person wrote... he sold his painting in the year 2205 at $140 million. Okay. Wow. Survived that long, huh? He has the vision to think how another person is thinking. He had portrayed the image by sneezing paint onto the canvas painting. This is another one that could be attributed to it selling because it was Jackson Pollock, as opposed to it being a work of art. Painting on white background for the cell of a recluse. The painting is slightly mistaken to be cracked wall. The masterpiece portrayed on the white background, which is punctured by a gray line in between of the whiteness. The painting is thus said to depict nothing which is valuable inside it. I'm curious to see how much this one sold for. Oh, so it is. So it's another Zhuang Mido. Okay. It was damaged. So this is from January 8th, 2013, from afanews.com, and it says that it was damaged while on view at the Tate Modern in London, and it cost British taxpayers $326,000 to repair. Wow. So I guess it has not been sold, I guess. I wanted to see how much it was actually worth. This is Zhuang Mido. I guess someone went to his museum. Let's see. They mention anything about okay, so this is the painting. All right, so it doesn't say. Okay, so I guess it does say here a few years ago, this piece, I guess they're still talking about the painting on white background for the cell of a recluse. It says here it was valued at approximately $25 million. $25 million for that. For this. For white backgrounds with a gray line running through it. Just want to put that out there. Untitled Staff Build by Blinky Palermo. Palermo is known for his work on canvas and fabric paintings. His masterpiece is blue colored on the canvas, which does not reveal any expression of use in the abstract art. Cool. A color on top of another. That looks like when you go into like Google Chrome and you're trying to change like your theme and whatnot. That looks like a color theme that someone would pick. let's see. Most absurd painting sold for millions. This website is called wanderlord.com. It's called Most Absurd Painting Sold for Millions. Who was this written by? I guess this is someone's blog page. Oh, okay. This is an actual painting. I thought this was just like she just wanted to, like, the person just wanted to use a color. Like there. No. This is The Blood Red Mare by Gerard Richter. These paintings are vivid examples of how you can get fabulous money for any quote-unquote masterpiece. Drawn by a 5-year-old child or bought at a flea market or garage sale, for example. You just need to give it a sounding name, make up an incredible story, and put it up for world's most famous auction. So the one we're seeing up there. Right here. Bam. The Blood Red Mare by Gerard Richter sold for $1.1 million. It's red paint on a mare. $1.1 million. This is the one that we saw before. A spatial concept. It's called A Waiting by Lucio Fontana, and it sold for $1.5 million. I like it though. I think it's pretty interesting. It looks very horror movie-ish. Like this would fit perfectly with someone that collects like horror movie things. But I mean, I don't know about $1.5 million for it, but okay. It says the picture by Italian painter and sculptor was sold at auction in London for $1.5 million. It is a plain canvas with longitudinal slots. Fontana made holes and slits to help the viewer imagine the space. Would it be more expensive if he did more slashes? Alright. Green White by Ellsworth Kelly. Y'all ready for this? 1.6 million. We'll assume it's dollars because they don't have any other currency. Ellsworth Kelly is an American painter and sculptor. His pictures consist of shapes, but not necessarily geometric. As for me, it's just a green blot on white background. But someone paid enough to buy a small Thai island for having it in his collection. 1.6 million. Someone had $1.6 million in a bank account and decided that this was going to be a great investment for them. Someone convinced someone. That's how you know that it's just, again, this person was really spot on with what they said, because if you have a pretty good story, dude, you can manipulate people into giving you the money. Like, is this not like a fucking grift? Like, come on. How is this legal? How the fuck is this something? How do you get away with this? How do you charge $1.6 million for this? Dude, it's not $1,000. It's not $500. There are painters and artists in this world that create things that are mind-blowing. And they can't break. They can't have like a break in their career, and they can't find things to help them grow. Yet you have this person that made this, sold it for $1.6 million, and someone bought it. It's the one we just saw, Untitled, by Blinky Palermo. Blinky Palermo was a German abstract painter. Untitled, as all his pictures, is a combination of multicolored stripes. One art critique said Palermo's pictures afford the viewer a strictly optical experience of pure, undiluted color. It sold for $1.7 million. A Pantone color. He did a screenshot of a Pantone color and he painted it, and he charged $1.7 million for that. That's crazy. Dude, there's people that can draw just as good or better than how like AI is like now generating stuff. I mean, there's people that have created paintings that you have to look at it a few times because at a certain angle it looks like a real picture of someone, and they can't find like work and shit, or they get like exploited, or it's a whole bunch of other shit. And this person sold this for $1.7 million. Again, I pose the same question: who's at fault? Is it him for creating this and selling it for that amount of money, or is it the fault of the person for paying this amount, for paying this ridiculous amount of money for something? People are enablers. Cowboy by Ellsworth Kelly. Oh, okay. No, it's just that this person is just like, this is the same person that did this one. Now, $1.7 million for Cowboy. So this person, Ellsworth Kelly, studied painting both at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston and in Paris for more than 4 years before he developed his own unique style. Not a bad choice. Blocks on paper are valuable economically. I don't know what that means. Dude, $1.7 million. So this person already has under their belt, they have like $3 million. If just by selling those two, they're set for like their life and the next generation. This is the one we saw before by Joan Miro. Sold for $2.2 million. Again, same. I attach it to the fact that it's coming from a very famous artist, and it sold at that price because of that person that created it, regardless of it being good or bad. Untitled by Cy Twombly sold for $2.3 million because, of course. White Fire 1 by Barnett Newman, who was the same person that did the plain color blue, the first one that we saw. This one sold for it says $3.8 million. Yep, it says $3.8 million. Someone paid that amount of money for that. Bro. Blue Fool by Christopher Wool. Wow. $5 million. Yep. Untitled by Mark Rothko. $28 million, my dude. $28 million. $28 million. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just, what do you say to something like that? Chat. If someone would tell you that they paid $28 million for this, like, I mean, what would your reaction be? It's absurd. All right. So these are like the worst ones. Let's see the flip side of them and see how much a great painting can sell for. If this one sells for $28 million, let's check out some great ones that have been sold for, you know. Okay, so these are the best ones. We're reading off of insights.masterworks.com. It's titled The 10 Most Expensive Paintings Sold in 2022. This was written by Michaela Preble, and it was published January 3rd, 2023. So, In what many would consider an unstable and unpredictable year for the economy, 2022 boasted some of the most expensive paintings sold in history. The spring and fall seasons both influenced the market by setting auction records for a historic number of artists. I mean, these corporations made a whole bunch of money this year in 2022, so I can only imagine that those CEOs, they all needed to spend their money on something. So I guess this is what they sought out to purchase. 2022 also highlighted the appeal of single-owner collections from auction houses and collectors. The year in art set stark contrasts against the macroeconomic trends seen from other financial assets, as well as political upheaval and war in other corners of the world. When times seemed bleak and inflation was rising worldwide, fine art prevailed, with auction sales realizing $13.6 billion in public sales. Why we still see art staying afloat despite troublesome times is something we can further dissect when looking at these paintings, example by example. Number 10. René Magritte, L'Empire des Lumières, 1961. Sold for $79.8 million. That's, one more time, $79.8 million. The surrealist masterpiece was sold at Sotheby's, London in early May of 2022 during their coveted modern day sale. Sotheby's saved no expense in marketing this masterpiece, and one couldn't blame them. A huge appeal of the Magritte painting is its pristine provenance, having been acquired by the previous owners directly from the artist in 1961. The auction house pulled out all the stops to market the painting, transforming the facade of its London headquarters into a trompe l'oeil duplicate of the work. The final price with premium was well over its estimate of $60 million. The sale also smashed the artist's previous record of $26.8 million, set in November 2018. The iconic picture was from a series of 17 paintings and came from the collection of Anne-Marie Crowet-Gillian, who modeled for the artist and was a daughter of one of his most important patrons. All right. Number 9, Andy Warhol, White Disaster, White Car Crash 19 times, 1963. They didn't put the picture here, so let's look for it. White car crash 19 times. Can't really see it very well. Trying to see if they have like a zoom or something, but that's it to the left there. It's not really visible, but okay, so this one sold for $84.5 million. The painting was the biggest Warhol of the fall season. White Disaster, White Car Crash 19 times was a late arrival to the November lineup of Sotheby's, but proved to be worth it. The painting is based on a garish photograph in an article about a horrific car accident published in Newsweek magazine on June 3, 1963, and deserving of the adage, "If it bleeds, it leads." This was the first time that one of Warhol's death and disaster paintings had come to market in nearly 10 years. It is now the third most expensive Warhol sold at auction. Number 8. Jean-Michel Basquiat, Untitled, 1982. Sold for a whopping $85 million. I mean, I admire Jean-Michel Basquiat. He's an incredible artist. Incredible. The marquee lot of Philip's May evening auction was an untitled work by Jean-Michel Basquiat from the so-called golden year of 1982. The sprawling canvas, measuring over 16 feet wide and 8 feet tall, was consigned by the Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa. The price marked the third highest result for the artist, and a 50% increase from the last time the painting was sold in 2016. Maezawa acquired it from the Christie's in May 2016 for $57.3 million. Still a whole bunch of money. Number 7. Lucien Freud. Large interior W11 after Wadu. 1981-1983. This one sold for a whopping $86.3 million. And it exceeded the previous auction record for Freud, set in 2015 when the 1994 painting Benefits Supervisor Sleeping sold for $56 million, by more than $20 million. It hailed from the Paul Allen collection at Christie's. Allen acquired it for what now seems to be a very reasonable $5.8 million at Sotheby's, New York in 1998. Wow. Gustav Klimt, Birch Forest, 1903. Exceptional artist. I like Gustav's work. Sold for $104.6 million. So in November 2006, Birch Forest was one of 4 works offered at Christie's following their restitution to the heirs of Austrian sugar magnate and collector Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer and his wife Adele. Included in these works was a portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer I. The painting was snapped up by billionaire collector and new gallery founder Ronald Lauder for a reported $135 million, and later became the subject of the film Woman in Gold, starring Helen Mirren and Ryan Reynolds. The remaining works, including Birch Forest, achieved a combined figure of $192.7 million against a high estimate of $140 million. Wow. People throw out these numbers like it's hundreds, like pennies to the cents. Like, oh yeah, 140 million, 40 million, 192, 135, 75 million. Bruh, that's insane. Wow. In 2006, Paul Allen bought Birch Forest for $40.3 million. Now, at $104.6 million, 2.5 times more than it went for 16 years ago, the painting has become the most expensive Klimt sold at auction. Number 5, Paul Gauguin, Maternite II, 1889. Sold for $105.7 million. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Okay, so Gauguin's oeuvre is saturated with his time spent traveling through the Pacific Islands, especially Tahiti. From these 2 ventures comes some of his most influential artwork and the breakthrough of Fauvism in its earliest form. Maternite II, completed during his second journey to the island, dates from this miraculous moment of Gauguin's career. It is one of a closely related group of works that depict often classically posed Tahitian women within paradisiacal settings, the rest of which are now in museum collections. The $105.7 million price realized at the Allen sale for this rare Tahitian-era work was more than twice the $39.2 million he bought it for at Sotheby's in 2004. Gauguin's auction record, set in 2006, is $40 million, although his works have reportedly sold privately for as much as $300 million. Like the Klimt, this is now the top-selling work at auction for Gauguin. Wow. $300 million. Number 4, Vincent van Gogh. Verger avec Cyprès, 1888. This one sold for $117.2 million. This result says a lot about both the Van Gogh market and one of the biggest art market bubbles in history. That's because the previous high for the artist was achieved more than 3 decades ago in 1990, when Portrait of Dr. Gachet sold for a then unheard of $82.5 million to Japanese buyer Ryohei Saito. At the time, Dr. Gachet became the most expensive painting ever sold at auction, a distinction it maintained for many years afterward. Now, after years of ascent and robust growth, that price was finally eclipsed with Verger avec Cypress, and the market for Van Gogh has officially been reset with this rare landscape that Paul Allen acquired privately from collectors Charles Shipman and Joan Whitney Payson in June 1998. Wow. For $117.2 million. Gotta fork up that cash. Paul Cézanne, Le Montagne c'est Victorie. Oh, Victoria, sorry. 1888 to 1890. Sold for $137.8 million. Paul Cézanne and his dreamy landscape paintings are synonymous with the growing popularization of Impressionism and Post-Impressionism in the late 19th century. This particular work and subject matter is considered to be one of the most influential and desirable among collectors, something Allen knew himself when purchasing the work in 2001 for $35 million. Now, 2 decades later, the painting fetched nearly 4 times that amount. Although only 2 people competed for the picture, its $137.8 million price tag easily shattered the artist's auction record of $60.5 million, set in 1999. Number 2, Georges Seurat, Le Processus Ensemble, Petite Version, 1859 to 1891, sold for $149.2 million. Similar to the ways the Van Gogh and Gauguin markets were recalibrated with Paul Allen collection offerings, it was the same story for Georges Seurat, although to an even more dramatic effect. The $149.2 million achieved for this work is more than 4 times the previous $35.2 million achieved for Paysage Ile de la Grande Jatte, an oil of the famous subject matter, sans people, that was sold in 1999 at Sotheby's, New York. According to the Christie's catalog entry, when his most famous work, the Tour de France, Un dimanche d'être à Ile de la Grande Jatte, or Jatte, drew skepticism amid the praise. The artist did not respond to such criticism with a written statement of intent or defense in the papers. Instead, he retreated to his studio and began work on another large-scale canvas to meet the challenge head-on and showcase the full expressive potential of pointillism. The resulting composition, which is what we see there, became one of the artist's most celebrated and iconic works that sold for $149.2 million. 4 times what it was purchased for. Crazy. And I guess the number 1 on this list is Andy Warhol, Shot Sage Blue, Maryland, 1964. I mean, we've all seen this in one way, shape, or form. Pop culture. It's I mean, the pinnacle of the 60s era art era movement, especially the East Coast New York scene. Pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. I've actually seen the actual portraits. They did a tour of like Andy Warhol's work. It happens frequently in San Francisco. So yeah, I was able to see that, and it's pretty interesting to see face to face. Pretty cool. Well, this beauty sold for $195 million. In addition to being the most expensive work of the year at auction, this iconic Warhol portrait of Marilyn Monroe is also notable as one of the rare exceptions to the dominant Paul Allen provenance. It hails instead from the collection of Swiss siblings and dealers Doris and Thomas Amann, whose collection was one of a cluster of blue-chip private collections that Christie's offered during the spring season. As much buzz as this painting generated, estimated at $200 million, it was the most expensive pre-sale estimate ever placed on a work. It managed to sell under that. Wow. But by the time the Allen collection blew through Christie's last November, the record-smashing Marilyn seemed like a distant memory. Mamma mia. That is insane. $200 million, and it sold for less than what it was supposed to. Crazy. Okay, this one has, I guess, some newer. This is called the artwolf.com. It's called, title is on the most expensive paintings ever sold. We'll probably see some repeats here of what we already saw. Okay, so it says, a detailed and frequently updated list of the most expensive paintings in the world. This list showcases paintings sold at either public auctions or private sales, and it is frequently updated. In addition to confirmed sales, at the end of the list you can find a few works whose price has not been confirmed despite the rumors about exorbitant sums. For the sake of brevity, only works with an inflation-adjusted price of more than $150 million are listed. Wow. Okay. So, this Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, which is, I guess, world savior, or Salvador del Mundo, if you want to directly translate it into Spanish. Was created between 1490 and 1519. It was sold in November 2017, and it was sold for $450.3 million, and the adjusted price is $507.4 million. Wow. Willem de Kooning. This work is called Interchange. It was created in 1955. It was sold September 2015, and it sold for a whopping $300 million. This one. And the adjusted price is $350.4 million. Paul Cézanne, The Card Players, created between 1892 and 1893. It sold at a private sale in 2011 for $250 million. And the adjusted price is $307.8 million. Andy Warhol, Orange Marilyn. The one we saw before was Blue Marilyn. This is the orange, obviously, like the title says. Created in 1964. It was sold at a private sale in 2018. The price paid was said to be over $200 million. The actual price was $225 million, and it sold for that amount, and the adjusted price is $248 million. Paul Gauguin, Na Fea Fa El Poipo, I guess. Created in 1892. Sold at a private sale early 2015 for a whopping $210 million, and the adjusted price is $247.2 million. I mean, holy shit, dude. That's a lot of money for a painting. Which is why Jay says that he bought some artwork for what was it? I bought some artwork for $1 million. And then 2 years later, it's worth $2 million. In 8 years, it's worth $10 million. In this case, you just have an artwork that you just leave it there. Like, this will appreciate on its own. You can make your money back fairly quickly. Jason Pollock. Number 17A. Created 1948. Was sold at a private sale in September 2015. It sold for $200 million, and the adjusted price was $233.3 million. The adjusted price being adjusted for inflation, I guess. So it's now would be $233.3 million. So this person purchasing this in 2015 in 7 years, 7 years and some odd months, made $33.3 million just off of having purchased the painting originally. Wow. Mark Rothko, number 20, Yellow Expands, which is the same artist that we saw that did the red one that's similar to this one. Was created in 1953, sold at a private sale in 2014. Price estimated, sold for $300 million, but it was sold along with a smaller Rothko, another painting of his, and a Diebenkorn. So it's sold for $200 million, and the adjusted price is $233.2 million for the yellow one on top. Gustav Klimt. So this one's called Weissersklangen II, created in 1907. This was purchased at a private sale in 2013. Beautiful. I absolutely love this artist. Sold for $187 million, and it is now worth $222.6 million. That's insane. Mark Rothko, number 6, Violet, Green, and Red. Ah, yes. The Pantone colors. This was created in 1951. It was sold at a private sale in 2014. And it was sold for $186 million. And it is now worth at an adjusted price for $217 million. Pablo Picasso, La Femme d'Alger, created in 1955. Sold at a private auction for and private sale 2015. And it sold for $179.4 million. And it is now adjusted price now would be $209.7 million. We'll do a few more. Probably we'll do 3 more. Amadeo Modigliani, Nucochet. Created 1917, 1918. Sold at a private collection. This was in November 2015. Purchased for $170.4 million, and its adjusted price now would be $199.5 million. Rembrandt, The Standard Bearer. This was created the year 1636. Was purchased at a private sale December 2021, and it was confirmed in 2022. It sold for $197.9 million, and the adjusted price would be the same, $197.9 million. This is a Sage Blue Maryland, so it's the one that we saw previous, by Andy Warhol, created in 1964. Sold last year, May 2022, and it sold for $195 million, and it's still same adjusted price, $195 million. Jackson Pollock, number 5, 1948. Created in 1948. Sold at a private sale in 2006. Oh, look, the seller was David Geffen. Huh. Oh, I wonder if that's like the producer or the owner of Geffen Records. I think it is something like that. It sold for $140 million, and its adjusted price is $192.8 million. Okay, the last one we'll do is... No, we'll do one more, because there's a Gustav Klimt. Willem de Kooning. This one's called Woman Number 3. Created 1952-1953. Sold at a private sale in the year 2006. Was sold for $137.5 million. Adjusted price would be $189.3 million. Wow. And last but not least, Gustav Klimt, This one's called Adele Bloch-Bauer the First, created in 1907. Private sale in the year 2006. Sold for 135 million. Adjusted price would be 185.3 million. I love this portrait. This is actually the cover of the art picture book of Gustav Klimt that I have, and it's absolutely wonderful. I love it. So yeah, now we know. Now we we saw the worst ones that sold for millions of dollars, and then we saw a whole bunch of great ones that sold for that amount of money. Again, it's just how much the price of paintings like this appreciates, and you make a lot of money. That's why there's so many people invested in this. It's insane. Obviously, I could understand a lot more when it's paintings like these that we've seen, but the ones that we saw on the list of the worst ones, wow, it's crazy how there's actually people that would pay money for some of those things that you could just literally do yourself. I wouldn't see the problem with someone taping a banana to the wall. You feel me? All right, we went down that rabbit hole. That was wonderful. That was awesome. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, we're gonna read this one. Russian woman who gave her doppelganger poisoned cheesecake just received a 21-year sentence. And then we'll read the one that's next to it. This the one about the jellyfish, but this one sounds interesting. It's some type of like interesting true crime kind of thing. I don't know. We're about to find out. Still, all that's interesting.com. Title is, as you can see here, Russian woman who gave her doppelganger poisoned cheesecake just received a 21-year sentence. Was written by Amber Brees, edited by Jacqueline Anglis, published April 25th, 2023. So, investigations into Victoria Nasarova's history painted a deeply disturbing image that included murder, international arrest warrants, and of course, poison. Dun, dun, dun. You had me at murder. Okay, this is the cheesecake container that held the poisonous treat. So, a New York City court sentenced a Russian woman to 21 years in jail for attempted murder, assault, and other charges after poisoning her doppelganger with a drug-laced cheesecake in an effort to steal her identity. The woman behind the crime, Victoria Nasarova, is a Russian national and known con woman who's been accused of various robberies and even murder. Nasarova, age 47, resided in Brooklyn, New York at the time of the crime in 2016. The incident occurred when Nasarova scheduled an eyelash appointment with Olga Tizvik, a Ukrainian beautician and friend who bore a striking resemblance to her. According to court documents, Nasarova picked up a cheesecake from a local bakery and laced a piece with the Russian tranquilizer Phenazepam. During her appointment, Nasarova ate 2 pieces of cheesecake before giving a third tainted piece to Tizvik. Minutes later, Tizvik became extremely ill. She was violently vomiting, floating in and out of consciousness, and became terrified there was something seriously wrong with her, Assistant District Attorney Konstantinos Liturgis said, according to a video from the trial. While Tizvik lay unconscious, Nasarova prowled through the home and stole her passport, $4,000, work-authorized card, and other belongings. She then staged the scene as a suicide, scattering the remaining phenazepam pills around Tizvik's body. The next day, a friend discovered Tizvik in her bedroom and rushed her to the hospital. Doctors stated she was dangerously close to a heart attack, as reported by the New York Post. Luckily, however, she survived. After recovering from her ordeal, Civic reported the poisoning to the police, and investigators were able to locate the cheesecake container and extract Nasirova's DNA. With the evidence stacked against her, police arrested Nasirova in 2017 and held her until her trial this year. Wow, yeah, I can see the resemblance. I can see it's not like they're not like right there identical, but you can kind of tell around the eyes and whatnot they do look alike. So during the trial, Spik relived the horrifying experience and described the effect it had on her. I would spend hours crying myself to sleep, thinking about what happened to me, Spik stated at trial. It's TSVYK. Spik told the judge that the experience left her unable to sleep for months and made her terrified to step out of her home. She constantly lived in fear that Nasirova would come back and finish what she started, the New York Post reported. It was an easy thing to gain the trust of another person and then take everything from that person, Spik continued. It was easy for her to steal. It was easy for her to kill. God gave me life when Victoria Nasirova tried to end my life, she said. Alongside these statements, the judge heard stories about Nasirova's disturbing background. In 2014, Nasirova left Russia after allegedly murdering her neighbor, Alla Alexenko, and stealing her life savings. Interpol released a red notice for her arrest following this event. While in the United States, Nasirova allegedly cons men out of thousands of dollars as a dominatrix and an escort, sometimes using poison to accomplish the task. Ruben Barukhov, 54, told jurors during Nasirova's trial that the accused drugged him on a date. When he regained consciousness, he discovered that he was missing his watch and $2,600 had been charged to his American Express. With these facts, the court was quick to find Nasirova guilty of attempted murder and robbery and sentenced her to 21 years. The U.S. has plans to deport her back to Russia after she serves her sentence. The circumstances that were shown at trial demonstrate that the defendant had an unthinkable type of premeditation with this, Liturgis stated. As reported by the New York Post, she never cared for her victim, and she also never had any remorse for what she did. Nasirova's response to the verdict? Fuck you. With the guilty verdict and the reassurance that Nasirova would not be able to harm anyone else, both victims and attorneys rejoiced. A ruthless and calculating con artist is going to prison for a long time for trying to murder her way to personal profit and gain, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said in a statement. Thankfully, the victim survived the attack on her life, and we were able to deliver justice to her. Wow. She poisoned her cheesecake. Awful. Okay, let's read this other one and then we'll go into... Still the same website, allthat'sinteresting.com. This is called This Newly Discovered Jellyfish Has 24 Eyes and is related to the world's most venomous creature. By Austin Harvey. Edited by Maggie Donahue. This was published April 25th, 2023. So, the new box jellyfish species was found in shrimp pools within the Mai Po Nature Reserve in Hong Kong. Oh boy. So the newly discovered species, dubbed Tripodalia maipoensis, is related to the Australian box jellyfish, the world's most venomous marine animal. Oh boy. I'm telling you. Let me see, is there any video that we can watch? Whoa! Okay. It looks like the googly eyes from Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's crazy. It kind of looks like superimposed, but I guess this is like a real picture. Let's see. Oh, boo-hoo. No videos. So, researchers in Hong Kong recently discovered a new species of box jellyfish living in a brackish shrimp pond. The first ever box jellyfish to be found in Chinese waters. What I was going to mention before is that the fact that I wouldn't be surprised that we're slowly discovering all of these animals that live in the deep sea. All of these creatures, because, again, we know more about space than we know about the deep sea. There are things down there that have been there for a very long time that have never seen the light of day, and I feel like we should keep it that way, because we don't want anything like that happening. We don't want anything from down under coming towards us, because, again, it's really deep down there. We only know, like the Mariana Trenches, we only know up until a certain point about it. There's a lot more that's deep in there that we have absolutely no idea. And it's so pitch black down there that it requires certain like machinery to not only withstand the pressure, but to be able to illuminate to a certain point where you can actually see something. Because it's like there's like pitch black, and then there's like what's down there. It's crazy. Named Tripedalia maypoensis after the Maypo Nature Reserve in Hong Kong, where the jellies were found, these small cube-shaped jellyfish are completely transparent and colorless. Stemming from their bells, they have 12 tentacles that end in tiny paddle-like structures, allowing them to travel more quickly through water than most other jellyfish. The T. maypoensis also has 24 eyes arranged in clusters of 6 around its box-shaped bell. 2 of them have lenses for image formation, while the others can only sense the light. Q. Jianwen, a biology professor at Hong Kong Baptist University in charge of the research, said in a video posted to YouTube. Well, what is this video that you speaketh about? Whoa. So in the past few years, the HKBU team, together with the collaborators from WWF Hong Kong, Ocean Park, Hong Kong, and the University of Manchester, have discovered a new species of box jellyfish in a shrimp pond at the Mai Po Nature Reserve. Whoa. We named the jellyfish Tripedalia maypoensis. Look at them. It has a cube-shaped body with 3 tentacles at the base of each of its 4 corners. This box jellyfish connects the base of its tentacles and its bell with a flat base that looks like a boat paddle, making it distinct from other common jellyfish. Another feature of the box jellyfish is that it has 6 eyes located on each side of its body. 2 of them have lenses for image formation, while the others can only sense the light. Through comparing them... Sorry, hold on. What was it again? Through comparing the morphology between the 2 species and the known species of the box jellyfish, as well as conducting genetical analysis, we confirmed that it is a new species. It is the first discovery of the class Cubozoa in the Hong Kong waters, and the first discovery of a new species of the box jellyfish in the Chinese coastal waters. The discovery increases the number of known species in the Tripedaliid family from 3 to 4. Oh my goodness, look how small. We are thrilled with this discovery. Finding a new species in Maipo, where extensive research has been conducted, highlights the potential for more marine life discovery in the Hong Kong and even the Chinese coastal waters. Wow. That is insanity right there. See how small they looked? That's crazy. Wow. Through comparing the morphology of the new species and the known species of box jellyfish, we confirmed that it is a new species. That's what the scientist was saying in the video. Like other box jellyfish, T. meipoensis has a venomous sting that can stun other creatures. In this case, researchers observed T. meipoensis stunning tiny shrimp known as Artemia, but it's not clear if these tiny half-inch jellyfish can sting humans as well. It seemed to paralyze Artemia offered in the lab, Q told Live Science, but we did not touch the animal to feel the sting. Q and his colleagues first observed the box jellies while analyzing samples from a gay Y, an intertidal shrimp pond collected between 2020 and 2022. According to Q, the jellyfish were quite abundant, with up to 400 individuals in an area of the pond. Although the box jellyfish family, Tribadalidae, has been widely reported from tropical and subtropical waters, this is the first record of it in Chinese coastal waters, they wrote in the study. Future investigations along Chinese coasts are warranted to improve our understanding of the distribution of this new species and the diversity of Cubozoa. No, dude, I'm telling you, it looks like it's superimposed on the jellyfish's body, so it doesn't look necessarily real. It looks like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Wow. It's crazy. Just the fact that they're discovering all these new things is just mind-blowing to me. Okay, let's move on to Google News technology. I want to see, I want to read about this here. It seems really interesting. So, AI Godfather Geoffrey Hinton warns of dangers as he quits Google. This was posted 6 hours ago. It was written by Zoe Kleinman and Chris Valance, and we're reading from BBC.com News. Let us see if we are able to at least see this video quick.
Things where there's no way that people weren't going to explore it. The issue is now that we've discovered it works better than we expected a few years ago. What do we do to mitigate the long-term risks of things more intelligent than us taking control?
Let's talk about those risks, because you've said that you're worried about bad actors. What worries you the most about what could be used with this technology?
So there's a lot of things that a lot of other people have talked about to do with being able to produce lots of text automatically, so you can get lots of very effective spam bots. It'll allow authoritarian leaders to manipulate their electorates, things like that. I'm not really talking about those. There's another particular thing I want to talk about, which is the existential risk of what happens when these things get more intelligent than us. So quite recently, I come to the conclusion that the kind of intelligence we're developing is very different from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all these copies can learn separately, but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chats can know so much more than any one person.
Dude, it's scary. So, a man widely seen as the godfather of artificial intelligence, AI, has quit his job, warning about the growing dangers from developments in the field. Geoffrey Hinton, 75, announced his resignation from Google in a statement to the New York Times, saying he now regretted his work. So this is kind of like an Oppenheimer all over again in certain ways. Just a little side note. I was waiting for Evil Dead Rise. I'm so waiting for Oppenheimer. I really want to watch that movie. Like, hell yeah. I also want to see Beau Was Afraid as well. So I have a few movies lined up, but yeah, Oppenheimer is most definitely on my list. Chat, let me know if you guys have seen the trailer for Oppenheimer. But obviously, if you know who it is, who Oppenheimer was, but if you have seen the trailer, what did you think about it? Are you thinking about watching the movie? Does it spark your interest? Let me know in chat. So let's see. He told the BBC some of the dangers of AI chatbots were quite scary. Right now, they're not more intelligent than us, as far as I can tell, but I think they soon may be. Dr. Hinton also accepted that his age had played into his decision to leave the tech giant, telling the BBC, "I'm 75, so it's time to retire." Dr. Hinton's pioneering research on neural networks and deep learning has paved the way for current AI systems like ChatGPT. In artificial intelligence, neural networks are systems that are similar to the human brain in the way they learn and process information. They enable AIs to learn from experience as a person would. This is called deep learning. The British-Canadian cognitive psychologist and computer scientist told the BBC that chatbots could soon overtake the level of information that a human brain holds. Right now, what we're seeing is things like GPT-4 eclipses a person in the amount of general knowledge it has, and it eclipses them by a long way. In terms of reasoning, it's not as good, but it does already do simple reasoning, he said. And given the rate of progress, we expect things to get better quite fast, so we need to worry about that. In the New York Times article, Dr. Hinton referred to quote-unquote bad actors who would try to use AI for bad things. When asked by the BBC to elaborate on this, he replied, "This is just a kind of worst-case scenario, kind of a nightmare scenario. You can imagine, for example, some bad actor like Russian President Vladimir Putin, who decided to give robots the ability to create their own sub-goals. The scientists warned that this eventually might create sub-goals like, 'I need to get more power.' He added, 'I've come to the conclusion that the kind of intelligence we're developing is very different from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all of these copies can learn separately, but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chatbots can know so much more than any one person.'" Matt Clifford, the chairman of the UK's Advanced Research and Invention Agency, speaking in a personal capacity, told the BBC that Dr. Hinton's announcement underlines the rate at which AI capabilities are accelerating. There's an enormous upside from this technology, but it's essential that the world invests heavily and urgently in AI safety and control, he said. Listen, I get my 2 cents on this. I think that we mishandled and did a very terrible job with social media, and I truly think that we are spiraling down the same path with AI. If it's not in some way, shape, or form checked on, kept under control, regulated, we're going to have a huge problem on our hands. It's going to be something that's going to be 10 times worse than social media, and social media has already been pretty horrible in terms of what it has done to human beings in general, regardless of their age. In a certain way, social media you can control because you can choose to have or not have an account or whatever the case may be. You don't have to participate. But AI is completely different because, you know, for example, we talked about AI technology scams last week or like 2 weeks ago. If you, you know, they piggyback off of numbers that are registered to actual companies, and they'll call you, and just by you saying hello, that's enough for them to be able to record that word, put it into an AI generator, and actually create an audio piece, or hell, even like an actual like video using your voice, saying whatever it is that they want you to say, all using AI technology. And that's like base shit. That's not even how bad it can actually truly get if it's not regulated some way, shape, or form. Because unfortunately, as human beings, especially with how fucked up a lot of human beings are, we cannot be trusted with something like this. This would be the literal end, not of humanity, but as life as we know it now. It's crazy. I don't think AI in and of itself is bad. I think that what can be done with it is the scary part. How far these quote unquote bad actors will go to, you know, use AI against others. It's crazy, and we're just seeing kind of like the start of it now, like 3 to 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when this is a lot more advanced than what it is now. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So again, I don't think they should scale back with AI. I think that it needs to be regulated, and there needs to be rules, and there has to be something governing that part, because there is no possible way that human beings can be given that level of responsibility and just like not like willy-nilly like that. Nah, man, it's crazy. It's too much. There's too much that can be done with AI, and there has to be some type of accountability, because if it falls on the hands of corporations and there's no regulations to AI, we are fucked, because there is no stopping anyone from, again, using it to harm, to impoverish, to just fuck up multitudes of people. It's insane. One sec. I'm gonna have this read. I just need to check something real quick.
We need to take a step back in March. An open letter, co-signed by dozens of people in the AI field, including the tech billionaire Elon Musk, called for a pause on all developments more advanced than the current version of AI chatbot ChatGPT, so robust safety measures could be designed and implemented. Yoshua Bengio, another so-called godfather of AI, who along with Dr. Hinton and Yan LeCun won the 2018 Turing Award for their work on deep learning, also signed the letter. Mr. Bengio wrote that it was because of the unexpected acceleration in AI systems that we need to take a step back. But Dr. Hinton told the BBC that in the shorter term he thought AI would deliver many more benefits than risks. So I don't think we should stop developing this stuff, he added. He also said that international competition would mean that a pause would be difficult. Even if everybody in the US stopped developing it, China would just get a big lead, he said. Dr. Hinton also said he was an expert on the science, not policy, and that it was the responsibility of government to ensure AI was developed with a lot of thought into how to stop it going rogue.
It's true. Yeah, it's 100% correct. And it does fall on the government to be able to make those choices, to be able to regulate this, because it definitely needs that regulation. There has to be some type of accountability for it, because it's insane. Responsible approach. So Dr. Hinton stressed that he did not want to criticize Google and that the tech giant had been very responsible. I actually want to say some good things about Google, and they're more credible if I don't work for Google. In a statement, Google's chief scientist, Jeff Dean, said, "We remain committed to a responsible approach to AI. We're continually learning to understand emerging risks while also innovating boldly." It is important to remember that AI chatbots are just one aspect of artificial intelligence, even if they are the most popular right now. AI is behind the algorithms that dictate what video streaming platforms decide you should watch next. It can be used in recruitment to filter job applications, by insurers to calculate premiums. It can diagnose medical conditions, although human doctors still get the final say for now. What we are seeing now, though, is the rise of AGI, artificial general intelligence, which can be trained to do a number of things within a remit. So, for example, ChatGPT can only offer text answers to a query, but the possibilities within that, as we are seeing, are endless. But the pace of AI acceleration has surprised even its creators. It has evolved dramatically since Dr. Hinton built a pioneering image analysis neural network in 2012. Even Google boss Sundar Pichai said in a recent interview that he did not fully understand everything that its AI chatbot Bard did. Make no mistake, we are on a speeding train right now, and the concern is that one day it will start building its own tracks. A la Skynet. Yeah, it's actually people comparing like the whole this whole advancement in AI technology to Skynet. My wife's she's a coder, she's like a programmer and stuff, and that's what she does. She's fucking amazing at it. And that's what I tell her sometimes. Like, I feel like you're part of the group of people that are creating Skynet, and it's gonna soon take over. Let me see. I want to check if CNN has a small video or something. Why Apple co-founder isn't concerned. Why is Steve Wozniak not concerned?
Dubai is taking
Ad. I'm not watching your ad. Let's see. Okay, this is the same interview. This is the one for CNN.
The man widely seen as the godfather of artificial intelligence has quit his job at Google, warning of the dangers of AI. Dr. Geoffrey Hinton's pioneering research on deep learning and neural networks has paved the way for current AI systems like ChatGPT. But in a lengthy interview with the New York Times, Dr. Hinton said he now regretted his work and is worried that AI technology will flood the internet with misinformation. Google responded in a statement saying, "We remain committed to a responsible approach to AI." Dr. Hinton has been telling the BBC how these systems can know so much.
The kind of intelligence we're developing
It's the same one we saw
different
previous.
from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all these copies can learn separately but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chatbots can know so much more than any one person.
Well, Dr. Hinton also told the BBC the rate of progress is worrying.
Right now, what we're seeing is things like GPT-4 eclipses a person in the amount of general knowledge it has, and eclipses them by a long way. In terms of reasoning, it's not as good, but it does already do simple reasoning. And given the rate of progress, we expect things to get better quite fast. So we need to worry about that. Right now, they're not more intelligent than us, as far as I can tell. But I think they soon may be.
Earlier I spoke to Junaid Mubin, author of Mathematical Intelligence. I asked what he makes of the AI warning.
I think this one is to be taken seriously because of where it's coming from. I wouldn't take Elon Musk's own warnings particularly seriously because he's not an AI expert. Geoffrey Hinton, on the other hand, is one of the pioneers of artificial intelligence, and he's also been very specific in laying out a hierarchy of risks and concerns. And so he mentions the threats that AI pose to the workforce and to the spread of misinformation. But the concerns that he's raised around existential risk, I think, are to be taken seriously. And I think it's important to recognize that those risks are not premised on AI becoming conscious or gaining sentience. We're not talking about a Terminator doomsday scenario, but it's the idea that these technologies are able to amass information and process information so effectively that if you put them in the hands of bad human actors, they can wreak all kinds of havoc. And I think that is something we all need to pay attention to.
So tell us a bit more about that, because he referred, didn't he, to bad actors who would use AI for bad things. So tell us a bit more about what you think he means by that.
So I think one of the challenges with these chatbots is we don't fundamentally understand how they work. We know that they absorb large amounts of information, and then you can input a prompt, and it will give you an output. It might write an essay for you, it might generate an image or a video. And so the challenge is that as these systems become more complex, we can issue them with certain tasks. So I might ask a chatbot to go online and find the cheapest train ticket for me, and I might give it access to my bank account, and it will be able to carry out that task, and the stakes there seem fairly low. But you can imagine in a different context where the stakes are a lot higher, these systems might be weaponized to carry out a whole range of tasks, and they will execute those tasks in ways that we don't fully understand. And I think the concern that people at Geoffrey Hinton have is that there could be unintended consequences. These systems behave in ways that are very different to humans, so there's no real account for how they will go about achieving their objectives. And especially if those objectives are rooted in some kind of malicious intent. So if an authoritarian leader, for example, says to a chatbot system, help me to reassert my grip on a population, there's no real knowing how a very complex computer-based system would go about achieving that, what kinds of manipulations it might employ. And so the lack of transparency is something that we really need to be concerned about.
I think that's also taking it to I don't know, in my opinion, I think they're kind of not diminishing, but they're like lowering the actual risk that AI could pose. I mean, I understand that, yeah, obviously if an authoritarian leader would get that. But it just sounds something like, it sounds too much of a movie-ish plot, as opposed to, like I mentioned before, the actual dangers of AI that could happen in everyday life. That's my biggest fear and concern. Yeah, I get their point, and it's valid, but how is AI going to negatively affect the lives of everyday people? Like, that's the whole, that's it right there. And that's, again, what scares me the most out of the whole thing. Like, I understand their point, and it is valid again, but I think they're missing. I don't know. They're going too overboard, I guess, with their with fiction. It's just it sounds like something that, yeah, it could be done, but like, really, like. And the ChatGPT is gonna give this authoritarian leader a bullet point presentation of how he's gonna. I'm more worried about random people scamming other people for all their money and emptying out their bank accounts. That could be something, that person ends up like homeless or not able to pay for their things. From that point on, that scares me a lot more than just what could happen if. Get out of here with that. All right, when we finish this video, what we'll do is I'm gonna look for something that could talk about. We'll balance it. We'll look for positives that AI could bring to humanity if done correctly. And if it's regulated and not left in the air open for grabs like social media was. And we'll also see the negatives. See how could it affect human beings if it's not done correctly.
A couple of months ago, more than 1,000 tech leaders called for a 6-month moratorium on the development of new AI systems because of what they said was the tech posing a profound risk to society and humanity. I mean, is it too late?
It may well be. I think we have to adopt some spirit of optimism and recognise that we do have a huge degree of human intelligence as well, and now more than ever we need to summon that. And one thing that Geoffrey Hinton does emphasise is that digital intelligence, the kind espoused by these chatbots, is very different to human intelligence, and that may present an opportunity for us to tap into our own human strengths and understand how we can behave and cooperate with one another in ways that might allow us to regulate these technologies and rein them in. But I will say, Geoffrey Hinton has been working on these technologies for several decades. There are many within the space that have been issuing these warnings for several years. So his own warning does seem to be coming quite late in the day. And there is a sense that maybe the genie's out of the bottle now, and there's no real accounting for what happens next.
The man, why?
Telling you, dude, there has to be some type of regulation to it. We cannot let this fall into the hands of wrong, bad people, because it's not gonna be good. Okay, let's see. So let's start with trying to see if there's anything that's like directly. Okay, so let's see this one. It says, how is AI being used for the benefit of humanity? This was written by Ashish Anand, published January 31st, 2022. We are reading off of analyticssteps.com. So it says, artificial intelligence, AI, is rapidly improving in many human tasks, ranging from AI in disease diagnosis, AI in language learning, and AI in customer service. This has led to legitimate concerns that AI would eventually supplant human jobs across the industry. But that isn't the only or even most plausible scenario. Never before have digital tools, or we, have been so responsive to them. While AI will change the way work is done and who does it, it will have a greater impact on contemplating and augmenting human capabilities rather than replacing them. Basically painting the picture of AI and human beings coexisting on some level there, but I don't know about augmenting human capabilities. AI and AI applications appear to be quite complex. To break the ice, let's simplify things and have a better understanding of this new era of artificial intelligence and algorithms. In its most basic form, AI is a science that is programmed to mimic the way a human thinks. Algorithms, on the other hand, are a set of rules or guidelines that should be followed when performing computational tasks. Understanding the fundamentals will help us better understand the material. So what role is AI playing for humanity? Today, artificial intelligence, AI, enables businesses, governments, and communities to create a high-performing ecosystem that can service the entire planet. Its significant impact on human lives is resolving some of society's most pressing issues. Here are a handful of the most notable advancements for social concerns. Number 1, renewable energy generation optimization. So, the renewable energy market has been considerably revolutionized by AI in conjunction with other technologies, such as the Internet of Things, which is IoT, cloud computing, and big data analytics. AI systems can use meteorological data and sensors to optimize, anticipate, and regulate energy consumption in a variety of industries. Accurate AI-based predictions lead to enhanced dispatch efficiency and a reduction in the number of operating reserves required. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Let's see. What we'll do is we'll read through these and then we'll watch those two videos. One's a TED Talk. It's about 15 minutes long. And the other one is 10 AI examples in real life. Hopefully, the second one kind of looks like it has copyright music. I could be wrong, but if it does, I'll just mute it and I'll read it. But it seems pretty interesting. I do want to watch it. Okay, so that's number 1, renewable energy generation and optimization. Number 2, providing assistance to people with disabilities. Very important, very important. People with disabilities who live freely have also benefited from AI. One of the key accomplishments is voice-assisted AI, which is very beneficial to the visually challenged. It enables people to use smart devices to communicate with others and to explain their surroundings. For persons with disabilities, tools like this can be quite beneficial in conquering daily challenges. Bruh, love to read some more. Are there any examples? Ooh, nice. Okay, so it's a same website, analyticssteps.com. This was written by Pragya Soni, published December 14th, 2021, and the title is How AI Improves Accessibility for People with Disabilities. Okay, we'll skim a little bit towards the middle part, and it says, how can AI improve accessibility? So, because over 4 billion people worldwide utilize Google's search engine, AI is viewed as a societal good. It is available to everyone, including persons with impairments, In terms of accessibility, technology in general, and AI in particular, it plays a critical role. It is not only about discovering the most recent developments, but also putting a resolution at the expense of a specific group of people in order to enhance their lives. So what can AI do to improve accessibility? It can reduce accessibility obstacles using a variety of methods, including, listen to this, image recognition for those with low vision, facial recognition for those who are blind or visually impaired. Bro, could you imagine? Lip reading recognition for persons who are deaf or deafening. Huh. Wow, that is one hell of a typo. So I'll read exactly what it says. It's the sentence right here. So it says, lip reading recognition for persons who are deaf or deafening. Wow. Text summary for persons with mental disabilities. Real-time caption or interpretations for persons who are deaf. Holy cannoli. AI has a significant influence on the daily lives of persons with disabilities. Text summary allows a person with a mental handicap to readily perceive the world around him. Please tell me there's a video. There's not. Okay, this one's 2021, 2019. There's a lot of interesting videos. Just trying to see if I can find one that just opens up directly and I don't have to go into a website. At the moment, it's like accessibility for people with disabilities is still lacking in Indonesia, and I hope Indonesians get more involved to work together with people with disabilities. Technology like artificial intelligence can empower people with disabilities to improve their daily life. It has like, I think it has like copyright music. Yeah. Wow, that is so awesome. That is just, wow, that's just so amazing that we just live in a time where slowly but surely technology is advancing to the point where it's literally changing the lives of people that, you know, really need it. I mean, that is, wow, just like unbelievable. Okay, I think it's gonna be a little bit hard to trying to find something like short, but after a certain point, everything is like 20-25 minutes or more. Let me see. I'll go back to the first page. Let's see this one. How AI is changing the lives of people with disabilities. This was published August 24th, 2020. This is the United Spinal Association. Age of AI. I don't know if I can play any of those two. Okay, whatever. We'll go back to this and then Wait, oh, nice. Okay. So let's do this. So AI improves accessibilities for disabled people. And then we'll go back to the other, to the previous article that we were reading, and then we'll watch the two videos. But indeed, developing an accessible website might be difficult, but AI technologies have shown to be a game changer. Machine learning is used to scan and analyze the design of a website. It can then increase its accessibility in a variety of ways. Face recognition using AI software to replace CAPTCHAs, which can be difficult to find for those with visual impairments. For persons with physical impairments, a keyboard navigation optimization using the tab button. A voice recognition or speech recognition system, such as Google's project Euphonia, allows persons with speech problems to access the internet via sounds and gestures. Audio description content for those who are blind or visually impaired. Captions and translations of web videos for persons who are deaf. Wow, they actually repeated it again, so maybe I'm the one that's wrong. No, it can't be, because this one has more than the other one. For those with visual impairment, graphic components such as typefaces, colors, and spacing can be readjusted. Wow, that's crazy. I wonder how no one noticed that that's written like that. Okay, so number 3, development of new drugs. AI applications in the healthcare business, like medication discovery and development, are ripe for disruption. By using a massive amount of data, AI and machine learning have been utilized to find promising compounds. Pharmaceutical companies utilize predictive analytics to find these chemical candidates and then iterate on them numerous times to find the optimal one for drug production. Number 4, reporting of sexual harassment. Very important. Gender-based violence, child sex abuse, and other forms of abuse can now be reported using AI. Internal communications, such as company documents, emails, and chats, are being monitored for inappropriate material by AI systems. Various programs and platforms have been developed to assist victims in sharing their sexual harassment and abuse experiences, as well as the time and location in which they occurred. Another very important one, number 5, fighting against human trafficking. Human trafficking is a crime against humanity that poses a severe threat to global security. Ads on the internet are frequently used by traffickers to entice potential victims. To search and assess dubious adverts, AI technologies and computer vision algorithms collect photos from various websites utilized by traffickers and categorize things in images. These programs also scan data from adverts and websites to identify possible human trafficking victims and inform police before the crime occurs. It's a minority report shit there, but it's extremely necessary. Hell yeah. Number 6, national defense. In terms of national defense, AI plays a significant role. The U.S. military is using AI as part of Project Maven to sift through the huge troves of data and video recorded by surveillance and then warn human analysts of trends or anomalous or suspicious conduct. The big data analytics associated with AI will have a significant impact on intelligence analysis, as enormous volumes of data will be sifted in near real time, if not in real time, providing commanders and their staff with a degree of intelligence analysis and productivity previously unknown. Human commanders will delegate certain regular and, in unusual cases, crucial choices to AI platforms, decreasing the time involved with a decision and subsequent action by a significant amount. In the end, combat is a race against time, and the side that can make the fastest decisions and execute them first will usually win. AI systems, when linked to AI-assisted command and control systems, may advance decision support and decision making at a rate far faster than traditional warfighting methods. This process will be so quick, especially if it is combined with automatic decisions to deploy AI autonomous weapon systems capable of fatal results. That a new name, hyperwar, has been coined to describe the pace at which war would be waged. I don't like that. hyper war. My goodness. We offer 9 measures for moving forward to attain AI's benefits. So it says encourage researchers to have more access to data without jeopardizing users' privacy. Increase funding for unclassified AI research by the government. Encourage the creation of new models of digital education and AI workforce development to ensure that employees have the skills required in the 21st century economy. It's very important there. Very important, because as AI technology moves forward, you know, there has to be a way that we can move forward with it, as opposed to it just like completely taking over. And that's actually pretty important there. Wow, I like that one. Encourage the creation of new models of digital education and AI workforce development to ensure that employees have the skills required in the 21st century economy. I mean, if you think about it, you could take that sentence, just change a few words here and there, and that could be something that could have been said about computers when they were coming out the first time, when newspapers were being created. Love it. Okay, number 4. Form an AI advisory body. Listen to this one. Ooh, I like this one. Form an AI advisory body at the federal level to provide policy recommendations. I'm telling you, this needs to be regulated. It needs to be regulated. There has to be a governing body that is not a corporation taking the reins of what can and cannot be done with AI, because we cannot let the same mistake that we had happen with social media happen with AI, because it's a lot more dangerous and it can be a lot more it can be a whole lot worse for humanity, let's just put it that way, if it's not regulated. So that number 4 there that they're saying is extremely important. These are really good measures that should be put in place so that we can obtain like the best benefits from AI that we could. Very important. I like these. Okay, number 5. Work with state and local leaders to ensure that successful policies are implemented. Number 6. Rather than individual algorithms, regulate fundamental AI principles. Wow. Okay. So basically, rules and regulations for the core of it, and not just like its parts. Very, very important. Number 7, take bias accusations seriously so that AI data and algorithms do not repeat historical injustice, unfairness, or discrimination. And number 8, maintain human monitoring and control systems, as well as penalties for bad AI conduct and cybersecurity. Goes hand in hand with an AI with an AI advisory body. They must work together, because it's extremely important, again, that there has to exist some type of cybersecurity when it comes to AI. Dude, a few weeks ago we did for another one of the episodes of Coffee the News and Us, another morning hangout, we read about AI technology. A photographer that submitted an entry to a contest and won based off of his photograph, but then he gave the award back when he won, because he said that it was AI generated. And if you see the image, it's crazy just how real it looks. And again, that's just like that's a photography contest. Just think about all of the other things that you could attribute to this. That's, again, it's crazy. So yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of benefits, but there has to be a point where, you know, it just doesn't fall out of our hands, because it's what happened with social media, and we are where we are because of that. So let's do this. Hopefully everything goes well with this. I don't think TED Talks have like copyrighted music. I think the beginning does, when it does like the little intro and stuff, but I'll leave it muted, and I'll have then the video just start when he starts talking and whatnot. But I think it's pretty interesting. This video is called "How Will Artificial Intelligence Affect Your Life?" A person talking is Jeff Dean, and this is a TED Talk that was done in LA.
The field of artificial intelligence has been moving extremely quickly in the last few years. Do you know how AI will affect your life in the future? I have some ideas. I'm Jeff Dean. I'm a Google Senior Fellow at Google. That means a couple of things. First, means I'm kind of old. Second, it means that I get to spend my time working on problems that I think are the most important for the company. I'm working on artificial intelligence. I lead the Google Brain team, our artificial intelligence research team based in Mountain View, California. Our team does long-term research on how to make machines intelligent. And we then work with product teams at Google in order to make machine products that are intelligent. We want to use intelligence to augment the abilities of people, to enable us to accomplish more, to eliminate tedious, repetitive tasks, and to allow us to spend more time on our creative endeavors. AI is going to be more impactful than the invention of the personal computer and the spread of mobile phones into your pocket. So the idea of artificial intelligence is not new. It's been around since the very earliest days of computing. It's a grand project to build machines that are intelligent. And there's many ways of pursuing this. It's captivated computer scientists ever since. The most promising approach, though, is the area of machine learning. Rather than trying to embody machines with everything they need to know up front, rather we want to enable them to learn how to learn, so that they can learn from their observations of the world and to make inferences based on those observations. The field of deep learning is a particular kind of machine learning that I'll be talking about. And it's been shown in the last 4 or 5 years to be remarkably effective for a wide variety of problems, although it's actually much older. Before we start though, how do we learn? Well, we learn from examples of things and from repeated practice. And repeated practice and examples are really key to machine learning as well. So in machine learning, we're going to expose a system to examples of the behavior we want it to have. And those examples are going to teach it. It's going to learn from those examples how to do something. So in this very simple diagram, I have a model where we're going to try to teach a computer to tell whether a photograph contains a cat or a dog. And we're going to have examples where we know the right answer. So we have some that we say, that's a cat, that's a dog, that's a dog, that's a cat. And we're going to essentially show the computer an example and say, what do you think? They're going to say, well, I think that's a dog. And there you go. If you get the right answer, you're done, right? Just like doing your homework problems, if you get it right, you don't have to do more. But if you get it wrong, we're going to make little adjustments to how we believe about what we believe about the world and what we believe about this example to make it more likely that the next time we see that example or one like it, we'll get the right answer, not the wrong one. Deep learning in particular has a particular way of doing this that is really important. So it builds these layers of abstraction automatically as part of the learning process, where the lowest level things are things like, does this part of the image contain a little splotch of brown? And then as you go up through the layers, the kinds of things that it learns get more complicated. Things like, is there an ear at this part of the picture? Or something that looks like a couple of eyes, or maybe some whiskers. And those features emerge automatically as part of the learning process, which is really critical aspect of deep learning. We don't have to tell it how to tell a cat from a dog. It just learns that there's these things called whiskers, and they seem to appear in lots of photos, and they seem to appear more often in ones about cats. And that's really helpful. And those features develop automatically in the learning process. So neural nets can learn much more than just how do you tell a cat from a dog. They can learn to distinguish thousands of different categories of objects, tens of thousands. This is an ostrich or a fire truck or a fireboat, things like that. They can learn from an audio stream to give you a transcript of the words that were said in that audio stream. How cold is it outside? They can take in an English sentence. Hello, how are you? and spit out the corresponding French sentence. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Sorry for my French. They can take in the pixels of an image and give you more than just a category about it. They can actually write a sentence, a caption, if you will, about that picture. A blue and yellow train traveling down the train tracks.
That's crazy.
That shows a pretty high level of understanding of what's going on in that scene. One of the great things about deep learning is that all of those things that I showed you can be expressed using a relatively simple set of algorithms and can be expressed in a common software framework. So we can build a software framework that enables us to express all these different learning problems and then use it over and over for our research and for our products. And so the system we built is called TensorFlow, and we use it internally for everything that we do in this area. And last year we decided we would open source it because we wanted people to have the ability to take this software, download it for free, and use it for their learning problems. It's been really great to see different things that people have used it for. So here's one example. There was a Japanese cucumber farmer, and it turns out when you harvest your cucumbers, you have to sort them into all kinds of different categories for sale. Small ones, medium ones, large ones, prickly ones, not prickly ones, straight ones, curved ones. This is pretty complicated and pretty time consuming at harvest time. So the farmer was able to take a camera and using a computer vision model that he trained with TensorFlow, actually have the vision model determine what category of cucumber it was looking at, and then rigged it up to some conveyor belts and some little switches that would push the cucumber into the right box. And so this eliminated many days of labor that the farmer and his wife would have to do at
holy shit, that is
That's
so
just one
awesome.
tiny example of something you can do now.
Wow.
That would be harder before. So as I said, neural net.
Dude, and the fact that he was able to, and it's the whole like being able to divide the cucumbers and like the different types, like by size, if it was prickled in the outside or not. Wow, dude, that is insane. And I can obviously see where the time consumption can come into play, but how AI just automated that whole process. Mind you, it would probably mean that they wouldn't have to hire anyone else to go to do that whole process. That's for this case's sake, in regards to the person that was selling the cucumber. Let's just say that it's just like completely family owned, and it's just him, his wife, and like his children that are operating the business. Then I can obviously understand A, the time consumption, and B, why it would be extremely helpful. But I mean, on a larger scale, that would technically cut off a whole role that was once filled by actual human beings, to cut that time short and be able to produce a whole lot more. In this case, it's just organizing the cucumbers depending on the size, the shape of it, how it's how the outside of it is. So yeah, I guess you have to see it from both ends. It's crazy. I mean, it's just even with the negative, the fact that we've come so far with AI technology that it just amazes me. All right, moving on.
Nets are not new. They've actually been around since the 1980s and 1990s, and they showed really promising results on kind of small toy problems then. But they really couldn't show great results on realistic large problems at that time. And the reason is we just lacked enough computational power. The process of making these adjustments to the model on every example and processing every example many times in order to build this model of the world is very computationally intensive. And so we just needed faster computers. Fortunately, we have faster computers now. Computers have been dramatically improving in performance every year for the last 30 to 40 years, and we've reached this point where neural nets are actually practical on real problems. So the computer you have in your phone is now 100 to 1,000 times as powerful as the computers you had on your desktop 20 or 30 years ago. And that makes all the difference.
Power of technology.
So we now have enough computation. And just to take an example, the field of computer vision. Every year there's a contest where teams compete to see who can give the right categories out of 1,000 different categories when given an image. And in 2011, before people were using neural nets, the winning team got an error rate of 26%, which doesn't sound too good when you think that humans are at 5% on this task. But fast forward just 5 years, and we're now at 3% errors using deep learning and much more computational power. We're actually better than humans on this task.
Shit, Skynet.
That's a really powerful and transformative thing. Think about this. Computers can now see, and they didn't used to be able to. If you think back to the time in evolutionary biology when animals evolved eyes, that was likely a time of great change and incredible and amazing things started to happen. And we're now at that point in computing. For example, this is really, really useful if you're trying to build a robot. If you can't see, it's really hard to do stuff. So here we have an example of robots using deep learning to teach themselves hand-eye coordination. So essentially there's a video camera for each robot, gets to look over its shoulder, I guess. I don't know, it only has one arm, but over its shoulder. And that model is going to take the pixel inputs from the camera and go directly to 6 torque motor commands for the different joints on the robot.
Bro.
And they're essentially just going to, through trial and error, practice picking things up.
Dude.
So you see, they're just trying things, and they can tell if they see.
If you're just like watching this, like out of the blue, you'd think to yourself, like, wow, it's just like a robot arm doing that, blah. The precision, the amount of coding, the amount of programming, the amount of previous studies that had to be done, mathematical formulas and equations, and I'm just talking like math lingo at this point, to be able to get to the point where they are now working on making it even more precise when it's grabbing something than it was before. Like, there's a team of people that I spend the whole day looking at numbers and letters and the combinations of them and just coding and figuring out things, and just to get that robot arm to move, to pick up things, pick up and let go, pick up and let go. Again, a lot of people would see this and some people wouldn't be impressed, but for example, in my case, when you actually see someone that is learning machine learning and learning machine learning and like learning, has like gone through the process of learning like programming and stuff like that, dude, it's really complicated. It's no wonder that like most like computer like science fiction movies and shit, like you always see like the codes that go up and down and whatnot. It's crazy. So I mean, like, shout out to basically us as human beings to be able to get to the point of having something like this and being able to work on things like this. I read once that, you know, it'll be able to get to the point where hey, Pothead Bailey, thank you so much for that raid. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My alerts didn't go off. That's crazy. The sound didn't go off, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We are talking about the benefits of artificial intelligence and how it's going to help us as human beings eventually to well, we're talking about the benefits now. We also saw some of the negatives that AI could potentially bring to human beings. We've talked about it before with thank you, appreciate that. Oh, see, there you go. That's the sound alert for the raid, but it just went off. I appreciate that, Pothead Bailey. Thank you so much. Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, now that I see you come in, I see your username. Just think how AI could eventually help cultivators and growers. Dude, could you imagine, like, at some point it being that, because not only, I mean, obvious modern technology when it comes to cannabis has already improved to the point where they have automated systems where you can, it'll water your plants for you and whatnot. But damn, imagine it getting to the point where you could actually have, picture the scenario, robots like these and these arms, but they would have just like one end something that grabs and another one that just like has a little scissor, and you're just like pruning all through nugs. Dude, you'd get like the sickest trimming ever. Albeit you're going to be replacing people's jobs, which sucks, but down the road, think about it, like when it's mass production, they're going to have to do it somehow. I mean, even if they had like thousands of trimmers, mass production of cannabis, if it were able to get to that point, they would have to need things like this. So could you, I'd imagine like AI, just machines all lined up like this and just like trimming endless amount of nugs. That's crazy. And that's just me being silly about it. If people were to actually get serious about implementing AI in the growth, manufacturing, production, and distribution of cannabis, bro, that's the future right there. I sincerely think that. Hey, Snoochie Boochie. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, it does have plenty of benefits. Let's see what else this TED Talk has to say about it. It's the future. We're living in it, dude. We are in what could be considered the best time of humanity, technology-wise. Not generally, but technology specifically, dude. We are... Let's just say it's what a time to be alive. All right, moving on.
Succeeded or failed by whether their gripper closed all the way or whether they were actually successful at picking this up. And they're learning like what kinds of grips work well for different shape objects based on the vision that they're developing. And they're pretty good at it. We bought a bunch of variety packs of toys and tools on Amazon. Another area where I think machine learning has incredible opportunities is in the area of healthcare. And I'll give you just one example.
Hell yeah, all day, every day.
So diabetic retinopathy is the fastest growing cause of blindness in the world. There's 400 million people at risk who should really get screened basically every year, but often people don't get the screening they should. So we wanted to tackle this with computer vision. And you get an image like this, and traditionally an ophthalmologist scans this to try to assess how serious the signs are, if there are any. And so we got a large collection of these eye images, and we had human ophthalmologists label them. So if you have a human ophthalmologist, 2 human ophthalmologists score these, they agree with their rating 60% of the time. Slightly more worrisome, though, is if you ask the same ophthalmologist to grade the same image a few hours later, they only agree with themselves 65% of the time. And it's really just a hard problem, right? It's sort of an interpretation of like, how dark are those spots? Should that be a 2 or a 3 in this rating scale? So on. So in work published earlier this week by our group in the Journal of the American Medical Association, we now have a machine learning model that performs on par, perhaps even slightly better than ophthalmologists at this task. And this is really important because it can make ophthalmologists much more efficient. They can actually dedicate their time to the people who deserve the attention and not spend as much time on screening most of the people, most of whom don't have any signs of this. We'll also be more creative by having tools that understand the art we're trying to create. That'll be really helpful, and I'll show you another example. So
I kind of wish he would have gone a little bit more into that portion there about the diabetic, like like vision and whatnot, that was extremely interesting because, yeah, okay, I get it with like creativity and art and whatnot, but the main goal that I think that AI should be geared towards when it comes to the improvement and benefit of human beings is medicine. It is, you know, those medicinal advancements so that the ailments and diseases and things that we're going through now as human beings can be tackled, and there could be a better solution to it through AI. I mentioned before, it's in my mind, but I read about a doctor in China that performed an operation on someone that I forgot what country they were in, using AI technology, and it was an open heart surgery, and it was successful, and the doctor was able to do it with extreme precision. Mind you, again, doctor was in China, the patient was certainly not in China, and it was all done through robotics. And that, again, I kind of wish he would have gone a little more with that, because that's interesting, because that is actual advancements for human beings. The surgery was done successfully, and the fact that because it was done with robotics, there's way more precision. Even the sturdiest of sturdiest hands will not have that amount of precision that a robot could have. Think about it. Open heart surgery like that, you can't make mistakes. That's how delicate that procedure is. That's why they make so much money. Open heart surgeons, like heart surgeons and whatnot, and like neurologists, especially like surgeons, they make a lot of money because it's a greater risk of mistake, and what comes with those mistakes, is it's horrible. You can die and shit. You can be brain dead. I read about a case of, this was a long time ago, and it was an open heart surgery, and something was, I don't know, like something fell off of a piece of the medical equipment that was being used, and dude, it killed the person. So yeah, again, this just all comes into play because I kind of wish that, again, he would have gone a little bit deeper with that, especially the fact that there's a lot of people in this country with diabetes. I said it like Max says it in It's Always Sunny. With diabetes, yeah, there's a lot of diabetics, and there's a lot of consequences that come with having diabetes. So yeah, all right, but moving on, let's see what they say about the art world and AI.
Leon Gatties and his colleagues from the University of Tübingen and the Max Planck Institute in Germany last year published this amazing paper where they have an algorithm that can take two things: an image, photograph, and a painting. And what the algorithm does is it renders that photograph in the style of that painter. So here you see that same picture rendered in 3 different styles automatically by those 3 different artists. And that's pretty amazing. And I think there's going to be a real opportunity to create tools for human artists that allow them to really interact with systems like this, and to more rapidly get the ideas in their head out into really new and creative kinds of art.
Nah, let's skip that.
Remember how the advance from the 1980s to now was caused by much more computational power. So the same thing is going to be true in the future. We want more computational power so that we can train larger models, so we can learn more. And so deep learning is actually transforming how we design and build computers as well. There's 2 interesting properties that neural nets and learning algorithms we're using have. The first is that reduced precision is okay. It's fine when you're multiplying numbers for a neural net to say 1.2 times about 0.6.
Shit. He went into math.
Sounds about like 0.7. That's good enough.
Math is not my thing.
We don't have to spend every last detail of our computational budget preserving all the digits of precision that traditional CPUs and computers are designed to build. And that's really helpful. If you yourself, if you needed to multiply a bunch of things and you were able to be very approximate like that, you could do many more operations. Same thing is happening in neural nets. The other thing is that all the learning systems I showed you and all the algorithms rely on just a handful of specific operations. They don't need the full generality that general purpose computers have. They want to be able to do things like matrix multiplies, vector operations, things from linear algebra, and that's about it.
My wife tried
So
explaining that
allows
to me,
us
and
build specialized computers
that was not really
that
successful.
can do these things extremely well and not much else. So here is a system that we built at Google about in the last 3 years called the Tensor Processing Unit. It's essentially a custom designed chip that accelerates neural net computations only. But because these kinds of deep learning algorithms are so applicable to many problems, this is great because we now have something that can speed up those kinds of computations by an order of magnitude compared to traditional CPUs. And that's really, really powerful. It allows us to use more powerful models in our products and get sort of better systems out there. Let me take you on a tour of some queries from the future. One of the things that we've observed is that as systems get more intelligent, users expect more from what they can do. So, which of these eye images shows symptoms of diabetic retinopathy? Well, I already showed you, we can actually do that today. Describe this video in Spanish. We can't quite do that. We can describe still images pretty well, but not quite moving videos, but that'll come. Find me documents related to reinforcement learning for robotics and summarize them in German.
That sounds like something
That's
ChatGPT
pretty
could do.
complicated, but imagine how productive we'll be able to be if we're able to have tools that can do that. Please fetch me a cup of tea from the kitchen. Having robots operate in messy environments like your kitchen is actually pretty complicated, but the very baby steps of things like the hand-eye coordination work I showed you are steps along that path. In closing, AI is going to help us to be healthier, happier, more productive, and more creative. Are you excited to see what the future of AI holds? I really am. Thank you.
That was okay. I thought it was gonna give a better explanation to it. All right, let's see this one. It's how AI examples. 10 AI examples in real life. How artificial intelligence impacts everyday life. I guess. Let's see. As always, if it has copyright music, I'll mute the. I'll mute the video.
Of how artificial Twitter or anywhere else, Instagram.
Nope. I can hear it. I can hear it in the background. All right, so we'll check out negative of AI in society. Okay. This website is called simplylearn.com. It says advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence by Nikita Dugal, last updated on April 20th, 2023. Shout out 420. Okay, so we're not going to go through what is artificial intelligence because we read through that, although this does sound interesting. What is artificial intelligence? So before we jump on to the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence, we'll read the disadvantages because we already know the advantages because that's what we just went through. Let us understand what is AI in the first place. From a bird's eye view, AI provides a computer program the ability to think and learn on its own. It is a simulation of human intelligence, hence artificial, into machines to do things that we would normally rely on humans. There are three main types of AI based on its capabilities: weak AI, strong AI, and super AI. Weak AI focuses on one task and cannot perform beyond its limitations, common in our daily lives. Strong AI can understand and learn any intellectual task that a human being can. researchers are striving to reach strong AI. The third one is super AI, which surpasses human intelligence and can perform any task better than a human. And it's, in parentheses, it says, still a concept for now. Okay, so let's look at the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. So the first one is high costs. It says the ability to create a machine that can simulate human intelligence is no small feat. It requires plenty of time and resources and can cost a huge deal of money. AI also needs to operate on the latest hardware and software to stay updated and meet the latest requirements, thus making it costly. Number 2, no creativity. Hey, Totally Dan, how are you today? I see your VIP status there, huh? That's what's up. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're having a great day. Okay, so number 2 of the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. A big disadvantage, which is number 2, no creativity. A big disadvantage of AI is that it cannot learn to think outside the box. AI is capable of learning over time with pre-fed data and past experiences, but cannot be creative in its approach. A classic example is the bot Quill, who can write Forbes earning reports. These reports only contain data and facts already provided to the bot. Although it is impressive that a bot can write an article on its own, it lacks the human touch present in other Forbes articles. I feel like that's one of the things that people latch onto when they, I guess, don't want to accept the fact that AI is moving extremely fast. I feel like this is something that could be said for now because we are still in the initial steps of AI learning its capabilities. Again, it's not even regulated, so it's still something that's open in the air for grabs and whatnot. I think that this no creativity part is something, again, that is just happening now, but later on in the future, it's most definitely not going to be like that, because with it learning so much at such a rapid rate, it'll be able to mimic that human touch, not fully, because you would still need to give it some type of sense to it. I don't know if you understand that, but it can still get to the point of making it as near to how a human being would say it than what it is now. So again, give it a few years, 3 to 5 years. That number 2, no creativity, that's going to be out of the picture. I think AI is going to be the key in the future for making new antibiotics against the resistant strains. I mean, we read about how it's at this moment helping and improving the quality of life of people with disabilities. Not to mention all of the benefits that it has towards society in general, but that the fact that it's a key player in the advancement of medical technology and how far we have come to this point now, and just how far we're going to get, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Again, I do think it's extremely needed that AI is regulated and has a governing body, but the fact that it's being used so much towards those medical advancements, it's amazing, and it just opens up doors for so many people that maybe at some point in their lives they thought that those doors would have never been open for them. And dude, human technology is getting them there. It's really amazing. It's really great to see. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is, a little bit scary, but I would think that, when newspapers were first being printed, maybe that was a little bit scary for people, or, when the first computer started coming out, there were maybe a lot of people hesitant to change, but I think that human beings will all just eventually catch up to the notion of, you know, living in a world that's now you know, being pushed forward by AI. It'll be like a Total Recall kind of thing. Minus the head exploding and whatnot, but yeah, I feel like that could well be it. It's funny now that I mentioned this movie, not that movie, but what is it? I think it's like Rocky 2 or Rocky 3. It's whichever the one it is that he goes against, like Drago, whatever his name is, the Russian dude. He has a robot in his house that is like the maid, and I remember watching that movie in the early 90s, and I was like, wow, it'll never get to that point. This movie's they're out of their minds. And dude, that could well be something that we could start seeing in a few years from now. LA already has the delivery services that are robots. They put everything inside of them, it's sealed, and then that literally goes to whatever address you tell it to, and it delivers your food. I saw the one now they're using drones as well to do deliveries. I'd heard about it during COVID, but now it's something like official. Like many rural parts of the states, they're using drones to deliver things. It's crazy. I saw a TikTok video about it not too long ago. It's crazy. And again, those are just minimum things. Now, let's take it 3 steps, 4 steps forward when we're like 3 to 5 years from now with these medical advancements because of AI. Dude, imagine just like having having the ability to be able to extract tumors, or being able to, I don't know, screen for potential cancers that could happen, because now we're so advanced with AI tech. I mean, I don't know if that's something that could happen, but hey, one can only imagine things. We never thought we were going to get to this point, and here we are. So who knows if that could be something that could happen. The world is in our fingertips. What a time to be alive, bro. Alright, well, I'll keep reading the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. Number 3, unemployment. One application of artificial intelligence is a robot, which is displacing occupations and increasing unemployment in a few cases. Therefore, some claim that there is always a chance of unemployment as a result of chatbots and robots replacing humans. For instance, robots are frequently utilized to replace human resources in manufacturing businesses in some more technologically advanced nations like Japan. This is not always the case though, as it creates additional opportunities for humans to work while also replacing humans in order to increase efficiency. That's the lifelong question. Ever since robots came into play, or the idea of automation, which in reality, I mean, if we didn't live in the capitalist system that we live now, automation should be what human beings would strive for, to be able to have time. But obviously we don't live under a economical ideology, if you want to fucking call it that, whatever you want to call it, that would allow something like that to happen. So yeah, it's a huge fear that robots and that type of automation is going to replace human beings at some point. That there are going to be lots of careers that are just not going to exist anymore, because there isn't going to be a need to have them, because it'll be automated, or chat GPT, or there's a lot of things. Dude, I saw the other day that this was like 2 or 3 days ago, that now you can use AI. Like if you use Adobe Premiere Pro, that's the software I use to edit my videos, or people or companies, you know, it's Adobe. You use that to edit videos, and there's an AI that you can apply to it now that does it automatically, and it knows when to split the videos, and works best if you have multiple cameras. It'll cut in each camera. It does it automatically, and they recorded the video of the whole process of Premiere Pro doing it on its own. No one was touching anything. That's crazy. That is extremely crazy, because that's someone's job. That's a video editor that probably has to spend hours doing that, and now it's just, again, in its initial steps, but nonetheless, it's still doing it automatically. It's crazy. I think it's going to be something that's going to force us as human beings to ask ourselves important questions as to what is, like, what are we going to do now? What are humans what are humans going to do? How are humans going to be able to survive as a species if everything becomes automated? Like, how are people going to make money? Is money even going to be a thing? Sounds ridiculous, but people are actually asking themselves these questions. And they're valid questions, because we don't know. Which brings us to number 4. Makes humans lazy. So I'm telling you, it's everything that could have some type of little benefit to it. It makes humans lazy. Same shit they did with cannabis too. Makes humans lazy. AI applications automate the majority of tedious and repetitive tasks. Since we do not have to memorize things or solve puzzles to get the job done, we tend to use our brains less and less. This addiction to AI can cause problems to future generations. Number 5. No ethics. Ethics and morality are important human features that can be difficult to incorporate into an AI. The rapid progress of AI has raised a number of concerns that one day AI will grow uncontrollably and eventually wipe out humanity. This moment is referred to as the AI singularity. I think that's what Westworld is based off of. The fact that the robots don't have... I didn't watch the show. My wife did, so I'm basing it off of her explanations towards me, to me, about the show. But yeah, the whole point is that they don't... it's like what would happen if robots would eventually take over and try to wipe out human beings, because human beings are evil. Number 6. Emotionless. Since early childhood, we have been taught that neither computers nor other machines have feelings. Humans function as a team, and team management is essential for achieving goals. However, there is no denying that robots are superior to humans when functioning effectively. But it is also true that human connections, which form the basis of teams, cannot be replaced by computers. I feel like number 5 and number 6 are mostly based off of people's fifis and whatnot. I mean, I understand it's understandable, but yeah, obviously they're not gonna have emotions. That's a human thing. But you can code the shit out of a robot to the point where it can simulate emotions. Or you can feed it information enough for it to understand from a data point of view what those emotions are. They won't feel it per se, but they'll understand what it is. So it's not too far from it's not like there's a huge distance between human beings and robots in regards to that. Because let me tell you something, there are a bunch of human beings that don't understand their own emotions. So think about it. No, I'm telling you. Number 7, no improvement. Humans cannot develop artificial intelligence because it is a technology based on preloaded facts and experience. AI is proficient at repeatedly carrying out the same task. But if we want any adjustments or improvements, we must manually alter the codes. AI cannot be accessed and utilized akin to human intelligence, but it can store infinite data. Machines can only complete tasks that have been developed or programmed for. If they are asked to complete anything else, they frequently fail or provide useless results, which can have significant negative effects. Thus, we are unable to make anything conventional. Wait, this was this year, right? Oh wow, this was April 20th, 2023, and I don't know why I feel like this article was written like 4 years ago, and there's just so much that has happened from this point on. But no, this is not even that far away. Interesting. Let's see if we could find any videos that don't have any copyright. Wow, this is 6 hours and 29 minutes long. See, this is the thing, that they start taking these videos way too long. All I want is kind of like a short explanation, but let's see. Maybe we can just write it. We could just see it off of. But this person uses copyright, and I know because we tried the video beforehand. It's 5 seconds long. Let's see. What does this say? So this is from Forbes.com. It says, title is Artificial Intelligence Dangerous? 6 AI Risks Everyone Should Know About. It was written by Bernard Marr, which is the dude in the other video. How long is this video? It's only a minute long.
And what do we do about it? Intelligence, like any tool really, can be used for good and for bad. What I help companies do is to use it in the right way to address some of the big challenges. We've heard about some of the utopian views of AI and machine learning enabled robots and autonomous weapons. This is clearly a challenge that I see. We now have drones that can take off by themselves, fly into a war theater, fire a rocket and come back without any human interaction. So this is something I'm worried about, and I think we need to address ethically. When I work with...
That's the word. That's it right there. I mentioned it beforehand, but it's the ethics behind it. And again, dude, you know how crazy that sounds? That a drone can just lift and just go and commit an atrocity like that and come back, and it's not manned by a human being at all. That's crazy. It's crazy. That's why, again, while I'm all for the advancements, there has to be a regulatory body that governs what AI can and cannot do. Because you have to, come on, you have to be real with yourself. As human beings, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Again, we didn't do it for social media, and we already know how far social media has gone to basically ruin aspects of society as we know it. AI could destroy us, period, point blank. Especially if it's used by those bad actors or those people with bad intentions, or just like evil, downright evil people, which exist. Not in the in a religious aspect, but more of like the malicious intention. And there's plenty of people that are like that. So wow, it's crazy. There should definitely be. Oh wow, I completely agree with that. Something, anything. The government needs to do something. There has to be the AI cybersecurity force, the AICF, some shit like that, whatever. That's only to govern everything that has to do with AI in every single aspect of society. Crazy.
With companies, one of the things we do is we figure out how do you actually use AI effectively in your business. So we can use AI to deliver better services and better products to customers. The challenge is we then do this not in a very transparent way, or when we use the wrong data. So we end up having biased systems, or we have systems that we can use to manipulate the world. We've seen this in Facebook's case, where Cambridge Analytica used data to manipulate potentially the outcome of general elections. This is something we want to avoid. We want to use data transparently. We want to develop trust in all of this. And this is what I do in organizations. AI is not inherently dangerous. It can do lots of good things. There's a whole movement around AI for good. And I've just written a series of Forbes articles and blog posts on this. If you'd like to learn more...
Boo-hoo. I thought you were going to say something else. See, they talk too much about stuff that I don't really, like, bro. You could have just cut into the meat and bones of it and not just have me go through that whole crap. Ooh. I like this as it applies to me being a content creator and a live streamer. I'm reading off of techtarget.com. I'll read this and then I'll end the stream. I'm good for today. I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. Okay, so the title says Pros and Cons of AI Generated Content. So, artificial intelligence is growing rapidly in the tech sector and assisting with various tasks as creating images and generating content. However, it cannot do everything. This was written by Amanda Hetler. She's a feature writer, published March 29th, 2023. Listen, I'll be real with you, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I most definitely use ChatGPT. I don't use it verbatim. We are still in the initial phases of it where it'll give you paragraphs or sentences, whatever information you're looking for, but still very rudimentary when it comes to the grammatics behind it. Sometimes the sentences don't make sense, or words are misplaced in the sentence, but whatever sentence it generates or paragraph or whatever. And lots of times, if you really read it, it doesn't make sense like that. So you do have to change words. You can't just like copy and paste it because it's not gonna make sense. Repeating myself again, obviously that's only because we're at the initial stages, but once this shit starts learning at the rate it's learning now, at some point it's gonna come. It'll be able to give you a fun paragraph that when you read it, you'll think that it's a person that's talking to you because of all the data that it's learned. So yeah, I mean, it's really helpful. It doesn't always make sense, but it at least gives you kind of an idea of where you can take what you're trying to say down through. Like, so if it's a title, you just change words or kind of make it make sense, or you can just like generate a new one. And again, you're not copy pasting it like that, but you're using it as kind of a template for you to be able to then start making it your own, which is awesome. Okay, so AI generated content is becoming popular, but many people wonder how to use it and if it truly sounds authentic. AI is growing rapidly in the tech sector, including the supply chain, food industry, chatbots, and content and image generation. AI-generated images made the news when critiques claimed that these AI art systems are stealing people's intellectual property on large models, such as OpenAI's DALL-E. And people are wondering if AI will take the place of artists and illustrators. We had that whole fiasco with Drake and The Weeknd like a week or two ago. Someone generated an AI song using their voices, and it sounds, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And the song like charted and shit, and it got like a whole bunch of Spotify streams and whatnot, and it was completely fake. Grimes, the other day, Grimes is Elon Musk's ex-girlfriend or wife, whatever, the mother of his last 2 kids. She posted that she would share 50% of her royals with people that would generate AI music using her voice, and if the song went big, that she would share 50% of the royals with the person that generated that content. It's crazy. It's the world we live in at this point. And I know that as of now, the last I read was a lot of the big names in music industry when it comes to like production companies and Sony and Atlantic and all that shit, Epic Records, whatever the case may be, like distributors and whatnot, they're all lobbying so that there can be something done by the government in regards to copyright. Because if you think about it, that's what it is. You're taking someone else's likeness and creating something from it and then marketing it and selling it. Even if it is the exact but is it really copyright though? If it's the same, if you're using the voice of the person that, yeah, it is. It is still copyright. Yeah. What am I talking about? It is still copyright. Which is why the person's being sued right now. The person that created the song by the fake Drake and the fake The Weeknd. Dude, what a time to be alive when it comes to AI. This is insane. So OpenAI introduced a similar AI program for content known as ChatGPT. This bot is more general purpose and offers an open prompt for users to ask questions, give a command, or ask for an observation. The bot answers both broad and specific questions. The system generated answers that professors and other educators said were extensive enough to receive a good grade. However, after further review, some sources, such as Stack Overflow for coders and developers, said the information was incorrect and temporarily banned answers using this system. Since there are no limits to answers that ChatGPT can give, a user was even allowed to search how to make explosives and shoplift, adding more controversy. Businesses are looking to AI tools to help with content creation and copywriting. The same question is being posed as to whether AI will take the place of content writers. While AI-generated content may not be suitable for all copywriting, there are some great ways to use these tools. So what is AI-generated content? AI-generated content is copy such as blogs, marketing materials, articles, and product descriptions written by a machine. That's all done by someone at an ad agency or done at a company or what. That's a position. Like someone makes money off of that. Or I would even say two different positions could be doing those things. The AI content creator generates the content after a person inputs information such as keywords, phrases, and topics. AI generated content can help speed up the writing process, and businesses are starting to take notice. Marketers may consider using AI generated content for automating the content marketing process, which can, at times, be time consuming and expensive. So how does AI generated content work? To produce content, users enter the text format needed, a topic, and keywords. The AI then searches the internet and pieces together copy fitting the requested format. Some tools also rewrite a business's existing content to add information based on web searches and editing tools. These tools can take this existing content and reformat it to fit other communication mediums, such as turning a blog article into a social media post or email draft. There are free content generators available, but others charge for more in-depth content. Let's see the small video.
Can AI replace humans? Sometimes, yes. Siri, Alexa, Cortana, and Google Assistant. These are all forms of AI or artificial intelligence, but AI extends far past voice acting voice-activated assistants. AI is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. And almost all businesses today employ some type of AI, some more complicated than others. AI can be categorized as weak or strong. Weak AI is a system designed and trained for a particular task, like voice-activated assistants. It can maybe answer your question or obey a programmed command, but can't work without human interaction. Strong AI is an AI system with generalized human cognitive abilities, meaning it can solve tasks and find solutions without human intervention. A self-driving car is an example of strong AI that uses a combination of computer vision, image recognition, and deep learning to pilot a vehicle while staying in a given lane and avoiding unexpected obstacles, like pedestrians. AI has made its way into a variety of industries that benefit both businesses and consumers, like healthcare, education, finance, law, and manufacturing. In fact, many technologies incorporate AI, including automation, machine learning, machine vision, natural language processing, and robotics. The application of AI raises legal, ethical, and security concerns. For instance, if an autonomous vehicle is involved in an accident, liability is unclear. And hackers are using sophisticated machine learning tools to gain access to sensitive systems. Despite the risks, there's very few regulations governing the use of AI tools. But experts assure that AI will simply improve products and services and won't replace us humans anytime soon.
Yeah, it's the anytime soon that worries me. But again, I think it's at some point it's just going to be the assimilation of AI into our daily life as human beings. Either that or they're just going to destroy us completely and it'll be the end of human beings. But I don't know. We've made it this far in life, even with everything that's been thrown towards us. So I don't think it'll get to that point. But at the same time, with how enthralled we are in with fucking capitalism, and that's my biggest fear, is that AI is used to further perpetuate capitalism, and we just end up in a worse position that we are in right now as a society. Crazy. So what are the pros of AI generated content? I mean, okay. Efficiency and scalability. AI can create content much faster than people, which is probably the biggest benefit. An AI tool can produce an article in minutes. It would take a human writer much longer to do all the research and write it. Cost effective. Hiring quality content writers typically costs a few $100s per project, depending on the length of the article, the number of pieces, and the needed technical knowledge. And this may be money well spent for high quality, well-researched content, which, I mean, if you really think about it, should be the norm, and that should be what everything is, like, high quality, well-researched content and not half-assed stuff. So you're not winning me over with these pros. Improves SEO. AI content generators scroll through thousands of online documents to absorb the information. By viewing all these documents, generators choose keywords to improve search engine optimization, which is SEO. The AI tool can suggest keywords for the content writer. By using these keyword suggestions throughout an article, the content appears higher in search engine rankings if it follows the rest of the guidelines of being authoritative and is written by a person. You can overcome writer's block, which is a common hurdle for many people. At times, writers may have trouble creating authoritative content for a subject they know little about. To help overcome this hurdle, AI tools can create detailed outlines and key points to help the writer determine what should be included in the article. That sucks though, because then where is the I don't know, man. Because I was gonna say, like, where's the research being done, being able to pull from different sources? But I guess that's what AI is doing anyway. It'll just cut the time. What are the cons of AI generated content? Quality concerns and possible plagiarism. AI relies on data and algorithms for content. The intended tone may get lost. AI tools can cover black and white areas of a topic, but gray areas are more subjective. Search engines may also flag content because it is similar to published materials, as it pulls from the same sources. The AI tools piece content together from various sites and reword them. Without adding the proper flow, this process goes against Google's stitching and combining content guidelines. Content needs to be authoritative and informative, which can be hard to do when piecing information together from various sites without proper human review. The next one, algorithms devalue content. Google released its helpful content update in August 2022, which highlights helpful content written by people for people. I think that that's going to be something that is going to be a selling point down the line. Written by people for people, made by people for people, or made by human beings, or this was written by someone, or, this restaurant only employs human beings, or this supermarket only has humans, or whatever the case may be. I think that's going to be something that's going to start being. It's a sentence that's going to start being used down the line to be able to A, use as a selling point, and B, differentiate when things are AI created and when it has that actual human touch to it. The update looks to punish content that is created to strictly rank higher in search engine results first. AI tools evaluate SEO results first without truly understanding the text, so the results focus on keywords and not being informative to the reader. The next one is lack of creativity and personalization. Creative content makes articles more engaging. People tend to share articles they feel a connection to, but AI does not have the emotional intelligence to create a story, instead adding facts to an outline. AI relies on existing web content and data to develop wording. AI does not understand user intent for queries and still lacks the common sense of human behavior. The next one, human editing still required. People still need to read through AI-generated content. It might save time, but people still need to be involved in articles quality checked. AI tools combine information from several websites into one piece. There may be some mix-ups to fix, such as product descriptions with text and colors, because AI tools do not understand adjective meanings. For now. Can't generate new ideas. AI tools use existing data for content, so this means they cannot come up with fresh ideas or original content. AI tools make it hard to come up with new content with the latest trending ideas and topics. Okay, this is all cool. That's pretty interesting. And we were able to watch that video without it having a content copyright music on it. Let me see. As a last but not least kind of thing.
I'm Jabril, and welcome to the final episode of Crash Course AI. We've covered a lot of ground together, from the basics of neural networks to game playing, language modeling, and algorithmic bias. We've even experimented with code in labs. And as we've been learning about different parts of artificial intelligence as a field, there are a couple of themes that keep coming up. First, AI is in more places than ever before. The machine learning professor Andrew Ng says that artificial intelligence is...
I'm sorry. I am so rude. We are watching a video from builtin.com. The title is The Future of AI, How Artificial Intelligence Will Change the World. It was written by Mike Thomas, updated by Jessica Powers on March 3rd, 2023, and it was reviewed by Sadrak Peer on August 8th, 2022. And then this specific video we're watching is The Future of Artificial Intelligence. It's a part of Crash Course. Definitely subscribe to their channel. Excellent videos. extremely informative, and they get like right to the heart of it when it comes to the information that they're giving out. So definitely check them out.
Is the new electricity. This is a pretty bold claim, but lots of governments are taking it seriously and planning to grow education, research, and development in AI. China's plan alone calls for over $100 billion in funding over the next 10 years. Second, AI is awesome. It can help make our lives easier and sort of gives us superpowers. Who knows what we can accomplish with the help of machine learning and AI? And third, AI doesn't work that well yet. I still can't ask my phone or any smart device to do much, and we're far away from personal robot butlers. So, what's next? What's the future of AI? Current soccer robots aren't quite ready to take on human professionals, and Siri still has a lot of trouble understanding exactly what I'm saying. For every AI system, we can try and list what abilities would take the current technology to the next level. In 2014, for example, the Society of Automotive Engineers attempted to do just that for self-driving cars. They defined 5 levels of automation. For each additional level, they expected that the AI controlling the car can do more without human help. At level 1, cruise control automatically accelerates and decelerates to keep the car at a constant speed, but everything else is on the human driver. At level 3, the car is basically on its own. It's driving, monitoring its surroundings, navigating, and so on. But a human driver will need to take over if something goes really wrong, like really bad weather or a down power line. And at level 5, the human driver can just sit back, have a smoothie, and watch Crash Course AI while the car takes him to work through rush hour traffic. And obviously, we don't have cars with the technology to do all this yet. But these levels are a way to evaluate how far we've come and how far research still has to go. We can even think about other AIs using levels of automation. Like, for example, maybe we have level 1 AI assistants right now that can set alarms for us, but we still need to double check their work. But what are levels 2 through 5? What milestones would need to be achieved for an AI to be as good as a human assistant? What will be milestones for computer vision or recommender systems or any topics discussed in this course? We'd love to read your ideas in the comments. Sometimes it's useful to think about different kinds of AI on their own as we make progress on each very difficult problem. But sometimes people try and imagine an ultimate AI for all applications, an artificial general intelligence, or AGI. To understand why there's such an emphasis on being general, it can be helpful to remember where all this AI stuff first started. And for that, let's go to the thought bubble. Alan Turing was a British mathematician who helped break German Enigma codes during World War II and helped define the mathematical theory behind computers. In his paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence from 1950, he introduced the now famous Turing test, or the imitation game. Turing proposed an adaptation of a guessing game. In his version, there's an interrogator in one room and a human and a machine in the other. The interrogator talks to the hidden players and tries to figure out which is human and which is a machine. Turing even gave a series of talking points like, please write me a sonnet on the subject of the fourth bridge. Add 34,957 and 70,764. Do you play chess? I have K at K1 and no other pieces. You only have K at K6 and R at R1. It's your move, what do you play? The goal of the imitation game was to test a machine's intelligence about any human thing, from math to poetry. We wouldn't just judge how really robots' fake human skin looks. As Turing put it, we do not wish to penalize the machine for its inability to shine in beauty competitions, nor to penalize a man for losing in a race against an aeroplane. This idea suggests a unified goal for AI, an artificial general intelligence. But over the last 70 years, AI researchers focused on subfields like computer vision, knowledge representation, economic markets, planning, and so on. Thanks, Thought Bubble. And even though we're not sure if an artificial general intelligence is possible, many communities are doing interdisciplinary research, and many AI researchers are taking baby steps to combine specialized subfields. This involves projects like teaching a robot to understand language, or teaching an AI system that models...
That's Sophia. I've seen that video of the Sophia. That freaks me out a whole lot. There's this really interesting one that it's Sophia. She's talking to the I mean, rest in peace, Sophie. But they're talking to each other, and it's so interesting, but it's so scary as well. Again, it is just technology that is still being worked on as we speak, but still pretty terrifying if you see it from the outside perspective.
The stock market to read the news and better understand market fluctuations. To be clear, most of AI is still science fiction. We're nowhere near Blade Runner, Her, or any similar movies. Before we get too excited about combining everything we've built to achieve AGI, we should remember that we still don't know how to make specialized AIs for most problems. Some subfields are making progress more quickly than others, and we're seeing AI systems pop up in lots of places with awesome.
That's that food delivery service that's in Los Angeles.
To be able to change our lives, AI professors Yolanda Gill and Bart Selman put together the Computing Research Association's AI roadmap for the next 20 years. They predict AI reducing healthcare costs, personalizing education, accelerating scientific discoveries, helping national defense, and more. Part of the reason they expect
Dude, reducing healthcare costs. That's exceptionally important to us. And I hope that it's something that's eventually implemented, because let me tell you something, this whole not having health insurance sucks. And I mean only myself, I mean like the general population, and the fact that the United States is one of the countries that lacks healthcare, proper healthcare systems. We overpay for healthcare and we get the least benefits. So anything that could help towards, more people having access to healthcare and just general healthiness in all aspects is extremely important. Like, hell yeah, I am so for that. I don't know about national defense and all that, whatever. We already spend exorbitant amounts of monies on national defense, but anything that could be a positive towards like healthcare, bro. Let's go. That's what's up right there. Yes. No, round of applause for them. That's exactly what we need. Oh, fuck, this can't come any sooner.
Makes so much progress is that more people than ever, including us, are learning how to build AI systems, and all these problems have lots of data to train new algorithms. It used to be hard to collect training data, going to libraries to copy facts and transcribe books. But now, a lot of data is already digital. If you want to know what's happening on the other side of the planet, you can download newspapers or grab tweets from the Twitter API. Interested in hyperlocal weather prediction? You can combine free data from a weather service with local weather stations to know when to water your plants. And if you feed that data into a robot gardener, you could build a fully automated, weather-knowing, plant-growing, food-making garden.
With this comes hand in hand what we spoke about before, about, we can have all these advancements happening, but we also need the proper education and training to be able to use all these things, because it can't only be kept inside of a bubble that only a certain amount of people can use. This information, albeit it is available, has to be converted into something that is taught. These are things that should already be introduced into the education system at an early age. Kids should already be learning about AI and coding and programming and machine learning just as much as they're learning math and science and history, because as much as the times change, education needs to go hand in hand with it. Not so much change, but improve and keep up with the times. And the times are changing pretty quickly right now. So while this is all extremely important, with it the knowledge and training so that we can all benefit and participate and benefit from everything that AI can bring to the table. Extremely important. It can't only be kept in that little circle of people and have it, because that's when it becomes even more dangerous. Think about it. Think about it. It should be accessible. That's all I'm trying to say.
Hacker communities around the globe are combining data, AI, and cheap hardware to create the future and personalize AI technologies. While imagining an AI human utopia is exciting, we need to be realistic too. In many industries, automation doesn't only enhance human activities, it can replace humans entirely. Truck, delivery, and tractor drivers are some of the most common jobs in the US as of 2014. If self-driving vehicles revolutionize transportation in the near future, will all those people lose their jobs? We can't know for sure, but Goodall Prize-winning computer science professor Musha Vardi points out that this is already the trend in some industries. For example, U.S. manufacturing output will likely keep rising, but manufacturing jobs have been decreasing a lot. Plus, computers use energy, and that means we're not getting any benefits from AI for free. Massive amounts of machines running these algorithms can have a substantial carbon footprint. On top of that, as we've discussed, you have to be pretty careful when it comes to trusting AI systems because they often end up with all kinds of biases you may not want. So we have to consider the benefits of massive AI deployment with the costs. In a now famous story from a few years ago, Target figured out a woman was pregnant based on her shopping history, and they sent her maternity coupons. But she was still in high school, so her family saw the mail even though she hadn't told them.
Holy
Do we want our
crap.
data being used like this and potentially revealing personal details? Or what about the government? Should it be allowed to track people with facial recognition installed on cameras at intersections? When we provide companies with location data from our phones, we could help them build better traffic models so we can get to places faster. Cities could improve bus routes, but it also means someone is always watching you. AI could also track your friends and family, where you shopped, ate, and who you hung out with. If statistics have shown that people who leave home late at night are more likely to commit a crime, and an AI knows that you left, even though it's just for late night cookie dough, should it call the police to watch you just in case? So we can go down any number of scary thought experiments, and there's a lot to consider when it comes to the future of AI. AI is a really new tool, and it's great that so many people have access to it, but that also means there are very few laws or protections about what they can and can't do. Innovations in AI have awesome potential to make positive changes, but there are also plenty of risks, especially if the technology advances faster than the average person's understanding of it. It's probably the most accurate to say that the future is complicated, and the most important thing we can do is to be educated and involved in AI as the field changes.
Knowledge is power.
Which we're doing right now. In Crash Course AI Labs, we use some of the same machine learning technologies that the biggest companies use in their products, and that the universities rely on for cutting edge.
Yeah, okay, you guys are awesome with what you do. Awesome video. Shout out to Crash Course. Great explanation. I loved it. And that's exactly correct. Wow, that is crazy. I wonder if wow, I'm sorry. Before I end the stream, I'm curious. High schooler sent maternity ads from Target. Okay, how Target? So this is from 2012. It's like 11 years ago. Okay, so we're reading off of Forbes.com. Article is titled "How Target Figured Out a Teen Girl Was Pregnant Before Her Father Did." Oh my goodness. So she was pregnant. Oh, this was written by Kashmir Hill, former staff member of Forbes.com. This was published February 16th, 2012. And they just want us to know that the article is more than 10 years old. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe we can find a video that...
You know this store's tracking your every move.
Okay, so it says a Target new teen was pregnant before her dad. This is Fox News. I can't even, bro. I remember the story. I posted it on TikTok. When Amazon, like I put my wife's cashmere pants by mistake in the washing machine and I ruined them. And the next day we had a huge argument about it. And the next day I received a sample box from Amazon that had cashmere shampoo inside of it. I still have that around there. Check out my TikTok and you'll see that video there. Dude, what? And I'm still wondering how the fuck that happened. Bro, like, that's crazy. Oh man, this is scary. This is some scary shit right here.
Move, well, may have finally taken it too far. Target's advanced advertising system even knew about a teenage girl's pregnancy before she could break the news to her own father. And he found out when the store sent her maternity deals in the mail. This story now sparking debate over whether companies' marketing techniques are going too far. Eric Siegel is an expert in predictive analytics.
Wow.
The same
It doesn't
technique stores
stop the
like
phone call.
Target use. And Art Kaplan, the director of the Center for Bioethics at the University of Pennsylvania, they're my guests to debate this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so Eric, let me start with you since you deal in this type of thing. So
Sorry, I was receiving a phone call.
how did Target know that this teen was pregnant?
That's actually not what happened. This New York Times article is misleading. It clearly implies that Target has the sort of supernatural ability to accurately predict who is pregnant and who isn't. But the fact is that generally this kind of work doesn't have accurate prediction. And companies can gain a whole lot by just predicting better than guessing. It's not medical diagnosis, it's not based on medical information. And the story about the teenage pregnant girl whose father found out through Target, it's implied in this article that that's connected to their work trying to predict pregnancy using this predictive technology, but that's only an implication, and the source of that particular anecdote is not given.
So Art, I guess the argument here is that she probably shopped at Target and she was buying things that might lead you to believe that she was pregnant, and Target tracks that, and so then they send her coupons and deals based on what she's already purchased. Do I have it correct?
Exactly. So
Yeah, but you're not proving, like, you're not just, okay, you're not going against what they're saying. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, it may not have been through, like, some, like, supernatural thing that I guess the New York Times was talking about, that Target was doing. I don't know. Maybe they just used different words, but the truth of the matter is Target was able to accumulate data about this person through either what she was looking for or her shopping habits, and they sent her specifically maternity ads. And out of the whole coincidence of life, she just so happened to be pregnant as well. Isn't that something, huh?
whether they're making a good guess, they basically watch your shopping habits and think, oh, you're buying diapers, you're buying this and that, maybe you need some more diapers. And all of a sudden, coupons are arriving, and anyone in the family obviously can see those coupons and wonder, why are we getting this stuff all of a sudden?
Nah.
So what problem do you have with this kind of technology and this predictive analytics, Art?
So if you go and look, I mean, in one sense, we're all responsible. We sign the waiver. There's always some gobbledygook that's on the website, for example, with these bonus cards and honor cards. But I actually went, stimulated by this Target story, to sites that sell liquor and ammo and fatty foods and other things. The privacy protections are a joke. They don't really tell you what they do to protect your privacy about your shopping habits. They can sell this information to other companies.
Which they do. Every single company, and I'm convinced that Verizon does the same thing to me as well, because I don't know where these people are getting my phone numbers from. I don't put my information like that on the internet, yet I still get the marketing calls, and I don't know how. So I'm convinced that it's Comcast, Verizon, all these companies, that's what they're doing. They store data and they sell it. I mean, Facebook was doing it. That was the whole point of the whole Cambridge Analytica situation. How many times have there not been like data exposures and people's information put out? 100 and something. You guys remember that big one from PlayStation that happened like 10 years ago, 12 years ago at this point? That was pretty big, and they had cut online for like 3 or 4 months at that point when that happened. That was really big. So again, this whole data thing, there needs to be regulations in regards to this, because that is an extreme infringement on someone's privacy, even if it's just like shopping habits. That's come on now.
They basically, in a sense, ask you to waive off all your rights. I urge people to go look at those privacy statements. We got to toughen up here and say, we need tougher privacy protection than what we're being offered.
The interesting thing, Eric, is that when you use these little cards, whether it's at Target or at the drugstore, I think people overlook the privacy angle because they know they're potentially saving money, right?
Absolutely. The privacy issue is a worthy
Yeah, but
cause.
that's not the point. That's not the point. Okay, we'll watch this last one.
We all know that stores know things about us based on our shopping habits.
But sometimes what stores find out gets a little bit creepy. The latest, how some stores can figure out that a woman is pregnant before she tells anyone. Consumer reporter John Matarese is here now with this unusual story. John?
Well, Carol, many stores now keep a database of everything you buy. That's how grocery store registers know what coupons to spit out for you. Your shopper's card keeps a record of all your purchases at the grocery store. But some say it went too far when Target figured out that a teen was pregnant before her family even knew. That's right. A report in the New York Times says Target's sophisticated computers are able to guess when a woman shopper is pregnant based on 25 items that pregnant women buy. Among them...
Bro, this is 2012. Look how old this video looks. Look at the quality. We already had the Avengers by 2012, so I don't understand. It's only 11 years ago. Well, I guess that is a long time if you really think about it, but... Wow, it looks horrible.
Vitamins, zinc, and magnesium supplements.
No, even the people, like
toss an extra large
the staff. It looks like the 90s or like the early 2000s.
And starts targeting you with baby coupons. But the New York Times says an irate father asked a Target manager why his teenage daughter was receiving baby coupons in the mail. Turns out his daughter was pregnant and had told no one at all. But she had been shopping at Target for products that an expected mom typically buys. How about that? The New York Times says Target's goal is to lure expected moms during their second trimester. It wants to get them to start shopping them to make Target their #1 store through their pregnancy and then once they have their baby. Is this legal? Yes. But if you find this just a bit creepy, you might want to spread out your shopping among various stores. Or the simple way to stop anything like this, pay by cash so you're anonymous.
Also, don't sign up to the things. Like, they're always asking for, like, emails and stuff. Nah, just don't know. Forget about that. I don't need that. Bro, this is wonderful. This was... exactly what the heart needed. Exactly what the soul needed. I appreciate all of you stopping by. Totally Dan. Always a pleasure to have you here, my dude. Pothead Bailey, I appreciate that raid so much. Snoochie Boochie, pleasure to have you here, my man, all the time. As always. Anyone else that stopped by, Ty, thank you so much for stopping by, saying hello. If you were lurking, I appreciate you lurk. You can find me all across social media. You already know that. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can like my videos on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, comment on my videos, let me know what you think. I have a whole bunch of scam videos there of that live stream that we did a few weeks ago. Check them out, let me know what you think. If you didn't watch the episode, you can watch those snippets there. Sorry. About to go make some food. Join the Discord, King Angel's Entertainment Lounge. We watch movies, album listens. I'm celebrating May 4th there, so I'd love to see you there. You can vote on which one of the 3 trilogies. I did a 3-1 there. But trilogy. It's not really a trilogy, but it's separated by 3s. Past, present, and future. That's kind of how I see it. But you can vote there. We'll watch either one. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow's a random topic day. We'll just finish the week doing random topics, see what comes up. Like I mentioned before, I'll work on that today, but I'm taking the bands out I'll keep them separate, and we can do those only for Twitch streams, because I just keep having this problem with YouTube, and I don't want to go through this anymore. But everything else I'll keep in the box. It's easier to just research about and read, and hopefully like watch videos or newscasts or something, interviews that don't have that copyright. Because dude, when we watched that Pink Floyd one on Friday, they took that stream down in a heartbeat, and it didn't even have music on it. So I don't know, but nonetheless, we'll keep on pushing forward because there's nowhere else to go but up. I appreciate you being here. Like I said before, this is the King Angel Show. I'm King Angel, a San Francisco Bay Area live streamer and content creator here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget that this is the King Angel Show. Peace.